If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors and Custom Drywall can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray or Mike, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors and Custom Drywall, 305-345-3649 or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
There's just one place where you can drive a new Acura ZDX for only $239 a month. The Customer Appreciation Sale at Acura of Pembroke Pines. Thank you for making us number one.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welt & Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welt & Rayom can help.
All right, I give up with the intros, man. I'm done with it. Everything plays fine up till we get to the intro, and then it goes haywire. Frankie Fresco. I'm Sean Stanley. He is the great Frankie Fresco. It is 7P, the place to be, the Squared Circle Digest. How we doing, sir?
We're doing good. We're doing a lot better than last week.
Yes.
But I'm glad to be back, and
we're glad to have you back, my man.
I appreciate it. So, just to let you guys know, obviously, I'm an open book, so I might as well tell you guys, besides obviously going to Washington, D.C. this past week, last week, unfortunately, I lost my dog, Rocco, so RP to him, and but we're not here to get emotional. We're here to talk wrestling, so just wanted to give you guys an update as why I was gone for at least a while, but I'm back, so let's talk some wrestling.
There it is. And we got a lot of wrestling to talk about already in the chat. And no doubt, and my dad, and if you're watching us on X, don't forget you can be in on the conversation. Just throw your chats in on the X. You're watching us on Facebook, either one of the YouTube pages. We appreciate you. And on Twitch, you can be a part of the conversation. And man, oh man, oh man. Frankie Fresco. Saturday night. What were you doing Saturday night?
I was watching Collision.
Yeah, okay, Meltzer. All right, you and Dave Meltzer.
Yeah, I was watching Collision. It was a very, very good fight between Danny Garcia and Adam Cole. And
Yes.
I was excited about that match, and I was tuning in. I think the viewership on Collision went through the roof because of that match.
Yeah, that match added a lot. And again, For those keeping track at home, 280,000 was the number for Collision this week, and one of them right here with us. So thank you, Frankie Fresco, for adding to those numbers. All right, memos in already. Frankie Fresco, let's dive into it, man. John Cena turns heel. And now, were you able, because I know you do a lot of working on the weekend, so were you able to watch it live, or were you avoiding social media and you saw it afterwards? Did you actually see it live, or did you hear about it first?
I did not get to watch it live, and I did not hear it on social media. So I was very quiet in trying to avoid watching and giving me the news, like the breakdown of what happened. Now, I will say this. I had no other choice, but as I was driving back home, I did hear that Cena had turned into a heel. And when I heard that, I mean, I was like a little kid all over again, excited because you guys know that for a minute there, I kept telling you guys if there's one Cena that I like, it's the heel Cena, the Thuganomics Cena that I always liked back in the day. I never liked the babyface Cena, and I was happy. Now, obviously, I watched the whole Elimination Chamber to check it out, and then you know, I didn't get a chance to watch your show. I know you and Sammy were talking about it,
Mhm.
but I don't know if you guys gave Elimination Chamber a grade because if I was to give a grade, I kind of was a little bit disappointed with Elimination Chamber. I think they made a lot of mistakes, and I think they need to work on that.
Well, you're one of the ones, and again, a lot of it, as we said on the thing, was due to the ending, the way the ending went down, and the way it began. It began explosive, and it ended explosive. Again, to me, the match that really I could have done without, unfortunately, was the Trish Stratus match. That
Yeah,
match to me, it just kind of felt like it brought down, and then it had to be lifted back up. I tweeted out because, again, Fightful Select, Sean, Ross Sapp, and them sent out, they always do kind of the rundown of how the event's going to go down. And when they originally sent it out, they had The Rock and Cody segment right after the women's tag team match. So it was in the middle.
mm,
I was like, oh, okay, all right. So nothing crazy will probably happen during the segment. Maybe something later, but nothing crazy. Then it came and went, and I was sitting there like, oh man. And then as it went and the men's match started, I said, man, this has got to be something huge going to happen in this at the end, because you're not just ending it with, Cody saying no and everything's hunky dory. All right, we'll see you on Raw. You knew that wasn't going to happen. But man, I never, I mean, again, I still have trouble believing the way it went down, because again, when you watch the match in its entirety and it comes down to Seth Rollins, John Cena, and CM Punk, and then Seth Rollins pushes Cena away, says, you've been gone for too long. I'm going to take care of CM Punk, this and that. And then they end up hitting the go to sleep, and, the attitude adjustment on Rollins. He gets pinned. He's out of the way. He goes hit the STFU on Punk. Punk gets the rope, the stomp on the outside, and for the first time, Cena did not hesitate. Didn't look around, just went and grabbed Punk right out into the ring and locked him into the STFU and wins it. And I was like, damn, okay. And again, my thought the whole time was it's going to be CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, one of those guys kind of selling their soul. And to me, I was like, okay, I'm still alive in this, because Punk gets cheated and he's kind of out. So I was like, okay, probably he's not Punk. But Seth kind of, I guess, just disappeared and walked to the back. But I never knew if he was still out there or not. So I was thinking that could be the person that does it. And I just never, with the whole thing of this being his final tour and everything else, I never thought that it would be this time to where John Cena turns heel. Like,
Well, it looks like they like to go on a different direction when you have The Rock there. It's like when Triple H is running the show and Triple H is like holding it down the storylines. It's very he's not too far like Vince McMahon. You could pretty much tell what he kind of likes to do. But it seems when The Rock comes along, he likes to spice it up, and then that's when like chaos happens, and then you're all of a sudden you start getting all these crazy things happening where you're like, oh my god, what's this? What's that? And remember what I told you, Sean. We spoke about this that wrestling is like a soap opera and all that stuff.
yeah,
I
no,
told you there has to be like a bang, and they finally delivered it by giving us a heel turn on John Cena, which nobody expected. Nobody expected it. Now, is it the right move? Only time will tell.
yeah, I mean, that's,
only time
that's
will
going
tell.
to be the thing. It depends on how it plays out, right? Because to me, again, now that all this has happened, of course, now we start looking back, right? And it was Rock attacking Cody in front of the John Cena truck with him and Stone Cold on it.
Yeah.
He did the 3. This time he did the 2. There's so much, like now everybody's trying to find the eggs. Like, oh wait, what else is planted here? He was beating Cody with his dad's watch. Like there was just so many little things to when you look at Cena. And then they start playing Cena stuff back where he's like, he gets pushed off by Jey Uso. And then he kind of sits there like, damn. And then he goes in and he says, I've earned the right. I'm putting myself in, the elimination chamber. Was this all set in motion before that? Or are these just happy coincidences that now they can roll up into a little ball and say, yeah, this has been planned out. Look at it. Look at how it rolled out. This is what we wanted to do. And then when I look back at it, what's funny to me? And I thought about this today because everybody's like 3. He came out at Bad Blood and there was Jimmy Uso, Roman Reigns, and Cody in the ring. And he came out and he did the now we look at it, he did it this way though, not just John Cena way. He did the 3.
Mm-hmm.
And this time he does 2. And my thing was thinking is this, man. When you look back at all of this, if they want to play this around a little bit and throw even more stuff into this, if it is, a number of guys that are joining, why not make number 1 be Jey Uso?
I mean, you could obviously because you want to spice up that matchup between Jey Uso and Gunther.
Man,
So
I was thinking about it. I was like, because again, remember, this could all, if they want to work this back, Cena knew he was going to get in the elimination chamber. So they give Jey the win by pushing him off of the apron. So now Jey gets his shot to go to. So now you've got Jey and John both now going to headline if they're both in cahoots with The Rock.
But the only issue here is that then you would have Jey turn into a heel now all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Which would kind of throw the whole storyline between Jey and Gunther because obviously Gunther's the heel in that matchup and not Jey.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem with that.
But you don't have to turn Gunther baby necessarily. He just gets cheated out of the title. That's my thinking is that will be the one time. Because to me, like, man, I find it tough to believe that John Cena beats Cody Rhodes. I honestly still do. I still feel like
he has to beat
happen.
Cody. He has to beat Cody.
I don't see it, man.
But
I don't.
Why? Why do you say that you don't see it?
Because it does nothing.
But it does. It hurts John Cena's turn if he loses to Cody. In all honesty.
But here's my thinking of this, and again, this is where I'm kind of all over the place and thinking about this more. And I wrote this whole thing down, and I've got these little bubbles and lines and everything else trying to follow the whole track of this. So Jey Uso becomes the 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Rock ends up, John Cena sold his soul. He just shoos away John Cena kind of because John Cena just sells his soul. He loses. He doesn't come through for him. And then Jey Uso, his family, comes through for him. And then now John Cena has to work on what me and Sammy were kind of talking about, is a redemption tour, so that when he goes out, he gets the fans back on his side.
I don't see it that way. I look. There was a reason why they turned him into a heel, and it's because they wanted to get the wow moment.
You heard what happened with Meltzer, right? You heard what Meltzer said happened?
What?
I don't know if you saw this or whatever. Okay, he said there was a meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Rock, Nick Khan, and Triple H.
Okay.
Rock wanted Cody to turn. Triple H was against it. It came down to a vote, and Triple H kind of won and lost because Cody wasn't going to say yes and join The Rock, but then they were like, okay, who's number two? Who's the number two guy you would want, Rock? And Rock wanted Cena, and supposedly Cena said, okay, I'll do it. And then that's how it turned into where they were at now.
I mean, I will say this, man, and a lot of people have been talking about it. Man, does it suck to be Drew McIntyre right now?
No.
Yes,
No.
it does. Yes.
No.
Come on, man. We all know that Drew McIntyre, who rightfully deserves it, should have been the guy they picked to betray in a way and say, hey, I've joined forces with The Rock. And now it's Drew McIntyre and The Rock, because Drew McIntyre has been busting his ass left and right when it comes to all these great storylines. He has been, if you kind of look at his track record, he deserved it more than what John Cena has done. John Cena hasn't done anything. But
this adds more to his storyline of him always getting screwed.
Again, I think the reason they chose John Cena right now is because John Cena is a bigger draw. Obviously, everybody loves John Cena. You were going to get everybody to say, holy crap, what happened here?
And it's not a big, oh shit moment if it's Drew McIntyre, to be honest.
Correct. But it would not have been bad either, in my opinion.
Maybe not, but you're not getting what you get now. You're not getting the response you get now. You only get one of probably two ways. If it was John Cena or if it was CM Punk.
Yeah. But even if you would have had CM Punk turn heel, it still would not have gotten that big wow moment either, because CM Punk has been a heel. CM Punk.
Again, it's like I said though, we were expecting that, right? So you were kind of like, and you're right. I think this was the only way you're going to get the whole, but it's just been so long. It's like, okay, this is his final time. Now you do it? It just felt odd to me in a way, man.
I agree. I agree that it's odd. And that's why I feel that sometimes the storytelling in WWE is a little bit all over the place, is what I'm getting. Especially, that's why I kind of tell you, when The Rock decides to join the show, it kind of diverts itself, and you don't know what to expect nowadays. And I think that's what they do.
Yeah,
when
that's
The Rock
the whole thing. Yeah,
that's their whole goal, to keep you guessing when he's on the show. Whenever he's not, it's still a straight line. You could kind of predict what's going to happen. But when all of a sudden The Rock comes in, Rock is like, yo, we're going to spice this up and we're going to do something crazy. And then, eventually you're going to see The Rock leave, and then, Triple H will just run with it.
Well, I think the thing too is you get the WWE creative side, you get Triple H, you get, The Rock, you get The Rock's people. You have a lot more creativity flowing through this. And again, when they're doing a lot of this stuff, and again, I don't know if they're just going back in the film and like, hey, Rock, remember you did 3 fingers. This time let's do 2. It may mean nothing. It may mean something. They beat him up in front of the Cena thing. Hey, remember the truck with the Cena thing? We can add that in and make it seem like this has been going on or it was planned that way the whole time. Nobody knows. That's the best part about it. It's like, was this planned out? Because when you look back at this now, look, Cena announces in Toronto, I'm running one more time. One more year, I'm doing this. I'm going to Royal Rumble and I'm going to win it. He doesn't do it. Then he does something that Cena doesn't do a lot. He went to the back in the press conference and said, I'm basically putting myself in there because I've earned it. And I'm going to win the 18 title, not for me, but to shake, the hand of whoever beats me. And it's like, that's Cena. Even when they were doing right before he even turned, he was doing the whole thing, running around the ring and throwing the arms in the air.
He was dominating.
When he told Rock, go fuck yourself, Cena's freaking throwing the arms up in the air. And it was just like, he's like, hey, come here, Cody. And they do the hug. And then the face, man, that whole, like, it was just like, oh, no. When I saw that, I was like, damn, that's the same face I saw on the McDonald's menu.
Well, and that the only reason you saw that face in the McDonald's menu is because McDonald's sucks. But I will say this.
McValue, baby.
I will say this. There's a reason why I told you the Elimination Chamber, I wasn't too fond of it. And I felt like it was weird when they do some of this stuff because in that matchup, you saw John Cena dominating. John Cena was doing a lot in that match. John Cena, not only that, but as a baby, won that match. So, what was the reason why to turn him into a heel? What is he gaining out of this? Because you can't say, hey, because I turned heel, I won the match. He won it as a baby already.
Yeah. No. He sold his soul to become 18-time champion.
Well, hold on a second. Why would he sell his soul to become an 18-time world champion if he had earned that opportunity to become the 18-time world champion?
No, he earned the opportunity to fight for the title. The thinking is with Rock there, The Rock said what? Cody, I want it all.
Mm-hmm.
I want your soul, I want the title, I want everything. So the thing I'm guessing for the storyline of it is Cena wants to become that champion, and he knows The Rock on his side. It's a feeling as it's as good as his. Then
if you see it that way, then again we got to go back to how can Cena lose? Then Cena needs to win then, because then it will correlate with the fact of why he turned heel. If he loses to Cody, it makes no sense why he turned heel then.
Well, it depends on how he loses. Again, this is where I go back.
You sold your soul to become a champion. Is what you're really. That's the reason why he turned heel, because it's guaranteeing him 100% to win it. Now, the only thing it would be crazy would be, like you said, maybe The Rock turns on John Cena, which could possibly happen.
Or Roman gets involved. CM Punk throughout.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this.
So,
Roman has been like on like disappeared, right? Like
he's on the island of irrelevancy right now.
Do you think WWE needs to bring and include Roman into this WrestleMania, considering all the stuff that's going on without him?
Right now, I would say no. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you keep him out, don't advertise him, and then you pull it like The Undertaker, like last year, all of a sudden, Cena's about to win this thing, and then whatever you want to do, if the lights go out or whatever, and then Roman's there, spears Cena, and then now you set up Cena, Rock versus Spear versus Roman and Cody. You can do more stuff with it is kind of how if you want to, or at that point, The Rock says, I never thought you were good enough to be the guy. And then now you've got Cena. He turned his back on everything he believed in, the hustle, the loyalty, the respect. He turned his back on it all. The kids, everything. Hell, WWE even went out and trademarked "Break a Wish." I mean, like they're going all in on this, man. And so it's going to be very interesting to see where it goes. I just think with the way it goes down, you've once again put the odds against Cody to where Cody wins again. But then again, when you look back at Cody last year, think about this. Last year, everybody who helped Cody, where are they now?
Well, Randy Orton just came back.
Yep. Randy's going to fight KO. There's two of the guys. Sami Zayn was taken out.
Yeah.
John Cena turned on Cody.
Mm-hmm.
Undertaker's still retired,
Right,
and
Jey Uso,
Jay is fighting.
Gunther.
Yeah. So if you look at everybody who was there at that moment, none of them are with Cody now.
But here's my issue here. I think because of the simple fact that Cody is a baby and he is a very good wrestler and a good face for the WWE as a baby, right? And the fact that you just mentioned that they try to turn him and the votes were, we ain't doing that.
Yeah.
It makes more sense for Sheena to beat him because then once again you have Cody facing that adversity, having to once again escalate himself and take it to the next level to again
Yeah.
eventually become a champion
Again,
and defeat the bad guys. That's the way it works.
I get that, but again, remember, the matches are limited for Cena. How many times do they run Cena Cody in this into the end of Cena? Unless that was just BS to get to this moment. Now, again, does he pull the Mark Henry? I really wasn't going to retire at the end of 2025. I just said that because I wanted to, again, something else that they could run this thing. But to me, you're going to waste like 3 months of Cena, Cody, Rock, Roman, I believe, because I think at one point you're going to get a tag team match probably at some point. So now you do all of that, and then now, what is it, August? If you take the title off of them in August at SummerSlam, and then you've got 3 months left of matches for them.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's a very good, solid point. But I feel this is what I think is going to happen. I think Cena's going to win, and I think Cena's going to go on a heel run as a champion. And as he goes as a heel run as a champion, eventually, the biggest story, the biggest thing, especially since you kind of saw it happening yesterday, with CM Punk mentioning, taking shots at The Rock and taking shots at John Cena. I have the feeling that the way you kind of finalize that Cena CM Punk story is by having them face each other for the world title, and then eventually having CM Punk defeat John Cena, and then now you get the CM Punk run as the world champion.
I mean,
And obviously,
do
it
the
would.
draft again, so you might get the CM Punk over to SmackDown.
No, I mean,
or maybe
I
Cena to Raw. I don't know if he wins the title.
I just think at the end of the day, like I told you, just a little bit sloppy when it comes to their storytelling because of the fact that John Cena was holding it down. He won as a baby, and then you're gonna turn him as a heel. So if you go and you allow Cody to beat him, then again, it's like you're just turning. You're continuously giving us left turns, left turns, left turns. You have to kind of sometimes stay a little bit on the straight line for just a minute. There's no wrong with surprises.
The heels can recover quicker than losing as a baby. If John Cena would have stayed face and then made the turn at WrestleMania,
That would have been badass.
that might have been something a little bit more to where I could say, okay, Cena wins it that way. But the fact that they turned him so now allows him to be, a bad guy for the next 7 weeks leading up to WrestleMania. And then, at Mania. And then if they decide to, go on with there. Real quick, I want to say Memo is in on the chat. No doubts in. See him dump is in. Terry, Zach Minger. Happy Mardi Gras Day. Tony Zags is in. My man Steven Gonzalez is in. Josh is in. Appreciate all of you that are in there on the chat. And we'll get to more. And also, Frankie, this guy has something to say to you.
Oh, Lord.
Are you ready?
Yeah, bring him over.
Listen up, you bald fraud. Listen up, you bald fraud.
I mean, this guy, the balls on this CM Punk guy. Making fun of bald guys. I mean, come on, you jackass.
Well, look, you want to know something? I mean, look, man. He just got screwed by a bald guy, by 2 bald guys, actually. Obviously,
Well, one's got a cul-de-sac.
I mean, John Cena's on his way to being bald. Let's just keep it real. He should just cut it
Did
off.
you see the thing where they put the NW and then they had his...
That was the best part.
So good, man.
That was the best part. They have to. They have
so
to.
many damn creative people out there.
But that's one thing I wanted to tell you as well. It's like when you say, "Hey, did they know what they were doing?" They like to throw nuggets, and they like to see what the fans have to say
Yeah,
about it. And then I think at the end of the day, they kind of roll with it because remember
they
last
do.
year
They do.
the whole Cody Roman, and then all of a sudden The Rock got involved in all that stuff, and the people kind of dictated that storyline. So when you say, hey, the Cena backdrop with Stone Cold and having him there and all that stuff, I mean, they want to know: are people going to talk about that? Are people insinuating that? It all look. It all is the same with the Marvel universe. This, if you watch the Marvel universe, it's always nuggets left and right everywhere, but you don't know. And the reason that they do this is because at the end of the day, they could always fall back and relate it. That's how all the Marvel movies work. And since they have Marvel writers now, that's exactly what they're doing. If you like Marvel universe and you like all those Marvel movies, think about it. It's the exact same concept. You throw nuggets there, you have them there, and then 4 or 5 movies down, you're like, "Oh crap, I remember seeing that the other in that other movie," and then you could relate it. So
Yep.
sometimes they could just go ahead and leave it to the side and not worry about it, or they could always use it as, "Hey, let's use that as a reason why this happened or why this what's gonna happen," and
Yep.
that's they're using the same concept as Marvel Universe, which
Well,
is
that,
awesome.
I think they're also allowing the fans to, go back and come up with things that they might not even. But now, okay, hey, look, they brought it up. Let's roll with it. How do we incorporate this stuff?
And Sean,
And it's kind of funny because too, and this is where, have you watched the push Jey Uso to John Cena to win the Royal Rumble?
the push, no.
If you get a chance, go back and watch that elimination. Just that one. Just get there, and he pushes him off, and then Cena gets a freaking smirk on his face, man. Like it's like I started looking. I'm like, and again, I don't know if they at that point they had any idea any of this is going to happen, or they knew this was going to roll the whole time. I don't know, but there are all of those little eggs, like you're saying, that happens in the what is it, Marvel universe.
Hmm. Oh, he got a coughing
So
out there.
yeah, I was trying to get the mic down. Oh boy, ooh. Got something stuck in my throat. I was trying to eat
Pause.
before I jumped on air, and I don't know that I got everything down. But they throw it out there, and I don't know necessarily that even if they remember some of the things they throw out there, but then they see fans bringing it up, and it was like like the whole thing with the Bray. Bray reminded us of what Cena was going to be, and and like the fans start making more of the story than what really is going on. But that's what makes wrestling so good, man. To me, that's what makes pro wrestling so good.
Well, I think at the end of the day, what ends up happening a lot is you have a lot of fans who are so invested in these storylines that you're right. They kind of throw nuggets out there and they want to see what the fans are gonna talk about and mention. And you want to know something? It's a good strategy for WWE because that means, hey, look what you just finished asking me. Hey, go watch back the Royal Rumble and take a look at it. So now not only am I watching future shows, but I'm actually tuning into the backlog of these other shows, which I know some of you guys do. I mean, every time when I talk to Memo's like, "Hey, I'm watching SmackDown from like 2007 or something like that,"
Yeah.
which is cool. I don't do that, but now when you see that, it makes sense to go ahead and be like, "Hold on a second, let me go back just a couple of pay-per-views and check it out and see what they're doing, what they did."
Well, that's the thing now. You'll go back and you'll watch how Cena was acting and going from the Rumble now to here. And you start like, okay, oh, yes, okay. And then again, remember, everybody was upset because at Bad Blood, The Rock walked out, literally just went and left. And
Mhm.
everybody's like, what the fuck is that?
Well, if you want to know something, here's my issue. Here's my thing, and this I was thinking about this in my head. So I remember the
Oh,
Marvel.
this could be dangerous.
I was watching this. I was thinking about the Marvel universe, and remember Thanos. So Thanos is like the biggest. I don't think you watch the Marvel universe, but Thanos is the big bad
I
guy,
know
right?
what you're saying. Oh, yeah. He's
And
got the hand.
he
He's got the
gets
hand with the jewel.
yeah, he gets he gets all the rings and he's able to go ahead and destroy half of the world when he does that. I have the feeling like that is something that The Rock is kind of mimicking. He's controlling everything and he wants to end everything. He wants that victory. He wants to be the guy holding it down. In that story plot, what happens is Thanos actually succeeds in it. That's why I feel that John Cena is going to win because John Cena is still a part of that piece. But here's the issue. When John Cena wins, that's when The Rock is going to go ahead and be like, wait, this is not what I thought. I thought that this was going to be more. I thought that the whole WWE universe was going to be in my hands. Everybody was going to be happy and all that stuff. But you're not going to get that. You're going to start getting people rebelling, kind of like the Marvel, Iron Man and Captain America and all them, which in my opinion would then be CM Punk, which would then be Cody Rhodes, which would then be Jey Uso, all of them joining together to take down The Rock and that group. And that's eventually what's going to eventually happen. That's why I don't see it, for me, John Cena losing against Cody, because then it would be irrelevant. The Rock is the almighty right now. You can't go ahead and grab a piece, and I don't think he's going to betray anybody right now. I think it's too soon. I think what The Rock wants to do is start adding more and more pieces, especially since he put those 3. I wouldn't be surprised he adds somebody else as well onto it. And he wants to build his empire. And then little by little, you have that empire versus the good guys, and the good guys have to knock down that empire, which eventually will happen down the road. But as of right now, he has the upper hand, and I think that's why John Cena wins in WrestleMania against Cody.
In this story, and I agree with what Sammy's saying there. You're kind of winning me over with this, with doing this talk here. But in that story, then John Cena lied to everybody about this being his last year in wrestling. Then,
not necessarily. Because you have how much after, like right now, how much does he have left? He has what, 6 months, 7 months?
December. That's it.
Okay, so he has a whole year. That's fine. And
yeah, but at some point, he's going to have to do a redemption tour to win back the kids.
No, he doesn't.
Because he's going to go out as a bad guy?
I think he's going to go out as a bad guy. Yeah.
He's going to die as a bad guy.
Yeah, that's what happened to Thanos. Thanos dies as a bad guy.
Yeah, but that would be The Rock in this story, right?
Yeah, but to keep this in mind, remember that Van Fleet interview where he wanted to turn for a very, very long time, and he actually said the reason WWE never wanted him as
merch.
Which will say that again? Because of the merch, exactly. He's already accomplished so much. The kids already have bought in all his stuff. And keep in mind, let's keep it real. When you saw him turn, a lot of people, there was a good chunk that was actually happy that he turned. So there's going to be a lot of people. Remember what you said? You said, hey, there's one guy that is kind of like the middle ground guy who is able to pull off being a baby and is able to pull off as a heel. And that is Stone Cold Steve Austin. And now we're going to find out if John Cena can most likely do that as well, which in my opinion, I think he will. And it won't hurt him to lose as a heel on his redemption tour or whatever he thinks.
Can I ask a dumb question here?
Yeah.
And now, because you're bringing this up, because right now The Rock would be kind of the guy that kind of can do the gray stuff. Stone Cold did the gray stuff. And if Cena could do the gray stuff. Because everybody's like, remember, I guess Stone Cold did a podcast and he said, if
hold on, before you get to your Cat for Life, Cena is the Winter Soldier. That's funny for me.
He is, actually.
Go ahead, bye-bye.
That is who he is, right? Oh, no. What is his character? Oh, no, he's in the Suicide Squad, right?
No, Winter Soldier is, like, oh, man.
No, but Cena plays that guy in Suicide Squad, the guy with the big-ass head or whatever.
Cena was in Winter Soldier. Yes, you're right. He was in Winter. No, wait.
It was Suicide Squad, wasn't it?
He was in the DC universe. That's the DC.
Oh, is that DC? Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Again, I apologize. I don't know if I offended anybody. I sincerely apologize. I don't know the different worlds.
But think about it, guys. And I know before you continue, think about it. Start relating a lot of the Marvel stuff with the WWE. Just start thinking about it, and you'll see how a lot of stuff seems very similar. Go ahead.
All right. So now, if they did this, right? What if The Rock is assembling his era of wrestler? Because everybody's like, oh, Stone Cold's coming back to help Cody. If he comes back, again, this is, big ifs. But what if Stone Cold is that guy that he gets to, again, Stone Cold's not going to be a full-time wrestler. I get that. But if that is the 3, 2, and then the 1 is, everybody thinks Stone Cold comes out to help Cody at WrestleMania, and instead he helps Cena and The Rock.
I mean, that could happen. And yes, you're right. No doubt. Winter Soldier is from Captain America. That's why John Cena's one is the it's the DC Universe one where he was that weird character. Anyways, yes, that's absolutely true. But here's my thing: can Stone Cold still hang? Because remember, we saw him against Kevin Owens the last WrestleMania that he was the last one that he's done, and it was rough. I mean, he hung out there, but can his knees hold up? If we get Stone
Well,
Cold
I'm not
back,
saying that he's got to wrestle every match, but you bring him in as that guy.
but it's so
And
hard,
then,
John, because
but my thing is this: Cena does movies, Rock does movies. You kind of can have Stone Cold there as the mouthpiece for the shows and keep that rolling. Why when the other two aren't there?
that's not a bad idea. Or
Because the problem's going to be is when those guys are gone, and now it's going to be Roman all over again in a way because now the title's gone.
well, that's what I'm trying to say. Why would you go Stone Cold? Why don't you just go the Roman Reigns way and just bring Roman on board as well?
Well, no, I'm trying to throw it because what you're saying about the whole thing where you get the people that you know. So if The Rock does that,
He knows Roman.
but again, Roman is going to want to be one of the guys to beat him, right?
Yeah, but keep in mind, like I feel that this is one thing.
Ultimately, in Thanos to end The Rock, it would be Roman. If this was written, to me, Roman is the one that ends up taking out The Rock and all of this.
Well, that's not a bad idea because then he would be part of the good guys. He would be with Cody, Roman, Jey Uso, all those guys. So yeah, that is a possibility. The only thing about them bringing in
Oh, then also we could throw Seth Rollins over there because we know Seth won't team with Roman. So
exactly.
The Rock would have Seth. I mean, again, if you want to kind of look at, people that
I gotta look. I gotta rewatch some of those Marvel Universe movies because I do remember. I gotta see who was on. Because remember there was also the what was it? The war. I forgot the name of it, but it's the one where they have a war when it's like a whole like five Marvel good guys versus the five versus the five bad guys and stuff like that. It's like Spider-Man and all that stuff. I haven't watched. There's so many of them, but what you're saying is not a bad idea. The only thing I have issues with that is no, you know what? I wouldn't have any issues because I was thinking, hey, you're relying heavily on some of these old guys. You're relying heavily on The Rock. You're relying heavily on Stone Cold, Steve Austin. You're relying heavily on John Cena. You're relying heavily on the old geezers. And you know what, Sean?
well, you could sprinkle some young guys in there. I just
Civil
don't know.
War. Thank you, no doubt. You want to know who they could bring into the Rock's group? My boy Brock Lesnar. Yes.
Oh, good God.
Bring him on there.
Oh,
He'll be part of that.
guys that still haven't even debuted yet. You got Lance Anoa'i. You got Zilla out there still. You've got Jacob Fatu. You've got all these guys. Yeah. Tamatonga. Come on, baby.
You don't need all those guys. You need Brock Lesnar.
8 minutes. What's up, buddy? Chad, what's up, man?
To keep bringing them in. And as you bring them all in, it'll be amazing. And then not only that, but then this is where you could get some of the younger wrestlers on the good side and develop them to take over. Because guys, The Rock, Cena, Stone Cold, if he does come back, those guys are old, dude. Like, how long can you go with that? Like, where is the future of WWE? And keep in mind, if you look at Seth, I think Seth is in the mid 30s. Maybe he's 40. I think.
38.
Look at that. Randy Orton is already old as well. You don't. Who are the up and coming guys? The only guys I could think that are up and coming are the guys from the NXT world.
We got Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker would be the one.
Braun Breaker is, but remember, Braun Breaker right now is a heel. I don't know if they will ever turn him into a baby. Maybe.
Yeah, he's going. They are organically making that happen because he's that guy that, yes, he's a bad guy internally, but look at now he's against the Judgment Day. No matter what, he always seems to fight more heels than he does baby faces.
Look,
Attack 305. You got to go 7 blocks up, man.
Hold on.
Where Frankie tells you to go, just go 7 more blocks and you'll find it.
All right, it's actually 6 blocks. But here's the issue, and I know we're diverting for just a quick second. I gave Big O the address. Literally, I sent it to him on X. I said, "Hey, look, man, here's the address to Don Chepe's restaurant. If you guys haven't been to Don Chepe's, check it out. It's a really good Mexican. If you're in that South Miami, Kendall area, it's a really good place." But Don Chepe's, and I gave him the address, and then he completely ignored. I wrote on the comments too. I said, "Yo, I gave you the address, bro. It's not like I didn't tell you. Like, all you got to do is click on it, and then Google Maps will show you where it is." But whatever. Anyways, LA Knight has already sold out to The Rock before. Finn Sammy, I like it. I like it. There is a lot of
But
things
again,
that
LA
can.
Knight is older.
That's
LA Knight
another
is
guy.
older. Yeah,
There's
again,
another
I
one.
mean, I know he hasn't been around for a long time, but he's still up there in the age bracket a little bit.
But think about it. What No Doubt said, and I know you don't watch the Marvel universe. Hopefully, this entices you to watch the Marvel movies. But
Not one.
Civil War would be really good if you have Cody, LA
Oh,
Knight, let's say Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, all these guys. I even turned Solo into a baby now, and now you got Solo as a baby in that group, and then they have to go against The Rock, Brock Lesnar,
dude,
John
no
Cena.
Brock fucking Lesnar, please.
Of course, you gotta bring Brock. It's only a matter of time before he comes back. I know Brock will make his way back eventually. At least I'm not throwing in Bill Goldberg.
It's coming. I know already. It's coming.
But that's the only thing. Becky Lynch, look at that. Becky Lynch is another one.
Right.
She could be the Scarlett Johansson character, the Black Widow. Yes, sir.
Yeah, no, I mean, definitely. And the thing is, too, is when everybody heard Civil War, I think everybody thought Roman and that bloodline versus Rock and the new bloodline, and ultimately, it's going to become a whole damn bunch of people just getting on sides and then just going to war, man. And this is where, you know what, this might be War Games this year. Think about the 5. I mean, The Rock won't be in it, of course, but if Cena's still there, does he compete in the last War Games of his career?
Why not? If he's going out with a bang, might as well go big then or go home, right? So
Yeah,
go big.
bigger go home.
Now I do agree with Cat for Life. Why does Cody always keep getting beaten on? And that's one thing.
That's,
Look,
but see
but
that
here's my issue, Sean. Here's my issue. They keep beating him down so badly, so badly. They make him look kind of weak sometimes, bro. And it's upsetting because I'm like, man, do you really gotta beat him down like that, dude? The guy, he's always he just got beat down by Travis Scott and all those guys, right? Remember when The Rock destroyed him in the parking lot? I think it was with the truck and all that stuff, made the guy bleed and everything again. You had plenty of times when Cody is just like he's such a wuss. He keeps
And then
getting
what
beaten down
happened
left and
at
right.
the end when it came down to one-on-one? What happened with Cody? It's
With-
his dad all over again. It's Dusty Rhodes all over again. Dusty would get beaten, bloodied, left in the ring every TV taping. Every TV taping, he'd get attacked by the Horsemen and everything else. And then he would go into the match and he'd pull out the big win.
Now let me ask you this because I wasn't
Rhodes, like, that's just what it's always, that's how his dad was, and that's what he's following in. I feel like.
the Dusty era, his father's era. I wasn't. Obviously, I was legit. I was like freaking like maybe 2 or 3 years old. So let me ask you, since you obviously knew about that era more than I do, was it continuously beat downs the same way as Cody, like as much as it is right now?
Dusty Rhodes got his leg broken. Then he showed up at work and they attacked him again and broke his arm.
Oh my God.
Then, then he teamed up. Then Ricky Morton became a friend of his and they broke his nose. You know what I'm saying? Like it was always the baby faces
Break
always
something.
beating, man. But then when it came time for the big payoff, an I Quit match, Magnum TA, Tully Blanchard, Magnum TA was getting beat down every week. Now the big payoff inside a steel cage, and he's got a wooden stick about to go in his eye, and he's like, I quit. And the baby face gets the big win.
And I get
like, because you feel like he's been beaten so much, there's nothing left. And I don't know how much of Cody is left after that damn slap from Travis Scott. I mean, let's just call it what it is there. Slap the taste out of the damn dude's mouth, bro.
You want to know something? This is the reason why EA Minutes is the unofficial third member of this
Stop.
podcast,
Don't.
he pointed out something that I noticed as well. I did notice that as well, sir. EA minutes, you're very, very true. I'm telling you, man, it's just a matter of minutes. It's a matter of EA minutes time, literally EA minutes time.
I
Before
may
Brock
go.
Lesnar comes.
I may go TNA if Brock Lesnar comes back.
I mean, remember, keep in mind, Brock Lesnar also turned on Cody and he beat
Yeah.
him down. So
Yeah.
it makes sense to bring Brock Lesnar and put him in that group. That's the only reason. Remember? And remember what they were saying. Anytime you give somebody a handshake, that's like the death wish because they're going to go ahead and turn their back on you. That's always happened. So Brock Lesnar, remember when he was like with Cody and all stuff, and then Cody went there, and then Brock Lesnar went in behind him and did the
F5. Yeah.
F5 and everything on him, and then that's it. It was like, and everybody was like, "Oh no, what happened?" So Brock Lesnar makes sense to bring him back and put him with that group. That could be the third member. It would make perfect sense if they literally go and you are again look at what I like about it is Sean because he's shaking his head and looking at me with his face like saying, "God damn it, Frankie's making sense," and it means that this guy might actually come back. And it's the truth. That would be the third
The fact
guy.
you guys are telling me he's on the roster again, it breaks my heart. It does. Breaks my heart.
It makes
Like,
sense.
bro, it's like you're at a point now to where, to me, I feel like they've distanced to where they don't have to break in case of emergency for anybody anymore. I feel like they got enough going on right now to where it's not like, oh, damn, what do we need to do? Oh, break in case of emergency. Come on, Lesnar. Come on, Goldberg. Come on, Darby Allin. Come on, whoever else you're going to do. Yeah. All the break in case of glass guys. And now you're going to go back into that trap. Fuck.
But Sean, I mean,
feel like Rhea Ripley outside the ring.
We're getting The Rock, we're getting the Cena, we're getting all these guys from back in the day. You gotta.
I want Rock, not Brock.
But yeah, man. I mean, I think it's perfect. I think it's perfect, and this is a good segue to go to what a lot of people are talking about on the chat board, which is Travis Scott injuring Cody Rhodes, bro. What's up with that, man? Like,
busted the man's eardrum and gave him a black eye, apparently.
Now, let me ask you this, because there's Triple H came out and he posted it on X, and it shows a video of how excited Travis Scott was.
Yeah, in the back.
And Travis Scott is like, "Yo, I'm gonna buy a ring," and he now wants to become
a ring
wrestler.
At all the houses, yeah.
He wants to be an actual wrestler. Doesn't this kind of feel as well, just a tablet, just a little bit? Remember when WCW had Hollywood Hogan? What made
Rodman?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but here's the thing, and this is where I feel like this little part, and again, I'll be straight up with you. We used to do shows where, like, for schools, right? And the coach of the team, it was like a charity show, and then the coach of the team would wrestle somebody. And we always told them, hit us. I'd rather you but again, we told them, don't throw punches to the face, but everything else lay in there. And I feel like that's what he was told. And he freaking went and just lit him up, man.
And that's
lit him up. And again, but I think, and everybody's like, oh, Cody's getting, I don't know. Because again, Cody comes from that dusty, like, they're talking about it. And now what's going to happen is at some point, I'm sure Travis Scott is going to be somewhere at a show or something, and Cody's going to get a hold of him.
That would be great if Travis Scott is doing like a concert and Cody's in the
audience. He does a Cody cutter out of nowhere. Bah!
Well, I don't think he'll do a Cody cut at a concert. But he appeared at one of his concerts.
It's at the end of the show. Travis Scott's like, good night, or whatever he does at the end of his shows. I've never been to a Travis Scott concert, so I don't know what he does. But, he's like, bah. And then you're like, oh, he starts walking to go off stage. And then you just have him come and bam, Cody Cutter. And then have everybody swarm.
We're giving WWE more ammunition for different ideas. Having Cody go out there at a concert and do a Cody Cutter on Travis Scott. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, and again, I'm sure everybody, when they got to the back, again, everybody was like, hey, you got to amp that down a little bit. Because I guarantee you beforehand, he was told, and I know what Sammy's saying about The Rock said, you get your chance to get your hands dirty, get them dirty. And that's the way it is. But I don't know that Cody thought it was going to come at that moment because his hands were behind him. There was no protection for Cody. It was just his head on the mat, and then the slap came down. So and you saw him kind of turn it. So again, I don't think it's as big as a deal as everybody's going to make it, but it adds to everything else that's going on. Because everybody's like, oh, why the hell is Travis Scott there? What the hell is he doing there? He does nothing, this and that. Bullshit. He puts eyeballs on your product.
Same thing that Dennis Rodman used to do for NWO.
Yes.
That's why when I saw that and I saw Travis Scott and then I saw that they were talking about, hey, I kind of want to be more involved. I'm like, oh man, this is similar.
Oh, he's already had ring time. Supposedly, it was already said that he's had time inside the ring and he enjoys it.
But the only difference here is that instead of having an NBA player, you have an actual rapper. Yeah. And remember, his The Fiend and all those songs were. I think that was like one of the songs that they used for one of their live events.
Oh, the Raw is his. The Raw intro is Travis Scott.
Gotcha. So I mean, it
for
makes
Netflix.
It makes sense for them to include them, and then you have and then keep in mind, who does that cater to? Obviously, the younger audience, the kids. The kids know about Travis Scott. The kids love Travis Scott.
What I thought was the funniest thing about this whole situation was Drake was at the show and he never got introduced.
That's that's another thing. That's
Drake sat front row right behind Pat McAfee.
That's true.
And never once did they say, "There's Drake here." No, nothing. Nothing.
If Travis Scott is getting ring work, right? Who's to say the sky's the limit with what they could do eventually? Like you remember Dennis Rodman attacked him with Hollywood Hogan.
Yeah, and they took on Carl Maloney. They fought Jay Leno. There's always been guys that have done this. I mean, think back to WCW days. You had Master P and the No Limit Soldiers.
Yeah.
There was the group, and then that's when Rey Mysterio went on there, and they're like the Filthy Animals or something. Him, Billy Kidman, and somebody else. So it's not unheard of. And to see, and if, again, now you start adding in Cody gets a partner, Travis Scott and John Cena. Again, I don't know how much.
That's not bad. What Cat for Life said. Imagine John Cena's like, yo, if it's let's say it's Travis Scott and The Rock versus Cody, and he has to pick somebody, he brings out Bad Bunny.
That's what I was going to ask you because you're more into that scene. Like, who would be because again, another one that's in the works right now, but is kind of on hold, is Jalen Brunson and the Indiana Pacers. The guy from Indiana Pacers. Damn it. He's always
Halliburton.
It's Halliburton. Those two are going to end up doing something too at one of the MSG shows. Not this next one because they're on the road.
But if you bring him, you got to bring Tim Hardaway. That's what you have to bring.
Yeah. Well, oh boy.
You know that, right? You know the story. You know the backstory between Tim Hardaway and Halliburton or whatever he called his name.
No, I know there's some beef there. I don't know what the whole situation is. What is it?
So apparently, correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Some of you guys know if you watch the NBA a lot. So it's Tim Hardaway's wife, I believe. His wife, he cheated or got a divorce or something, and it was with Tyler Haller with
that was that situation with.
Yes, I think it was Paul George. I think it was. I'm not sure. I don't remember who it is.
And Hardaway Jr. was on the team, right?
Yes. Okay. So then that's why Tim Hardaway was like, "Yo, the worst player in the NBA is the guy from the Pacers," because it involved that woman that was involved, and that's like his uncle, I think, or cousin or something like that. I gotta look at it. My brother told me about it, and I was like, "Oh, it makes sense." So that would be kind of like very, very like. Over the top, I will say that.
Yeah, very. If they did that, yeah, that's probably not going to happen. Yeah, Jean-Claude Van Damme and Chuck Norris were on Nitro. There was a lot of that with WCW, man. They did a lot of.
But if you look at it, the WWE could do the same, and I think the WWE if they went ahead and did this whole heel with John Cena, sky's the limit with what they want to do now, you know. And it's smoking the crap out of AEW. Literally smoking the crap out of them. Like nobody watches AEW, only myself.
Yeah. Well, you and 279,999 others.
Somebody on the chat board said it earlier. I was like, there's like those 270 people are so naive. There, I think it was No Doubt. Yeah, he says people too stubborn to get Peacock.
Yeah, but see, I still watch the show, and to be honest, man, it's gotten better. The problem is, and we'll discuss it in a little bit. And there's one thing when I looked at what's going on with them, and it's like, wow. When I looked at the lineup, and we'll discuss that in a little bit. Let's keep going. Last night, actually, let's stay with Elimination Chamber. We'll jump over a little bit. Jade Cargill returns, and she comes to the ring. Liv Morgan is shaking and like, I didn't do anything. Jade steps in. She kind of mouths to Liv, I know it wasn't you. Still looked like she was going to go hit Liv, and then beelined over to good old Naomi, and then beat the crap out of Naomi.
You know something? I got upset at that because I'll tell you what, I think they dropped the ball, and this is why I kind of gave Elimination Chamber like a C in my books, is because in each story, in some of these matches, besides the Trish Stratus with Tiffany, but they always try to involve somebody in it. Obviously, Jake Cargo, and then they had Randy Orton in the other one, and then obviously The Rock and the whole John Cena turn and all that stuff. But Jake Cargo, she goes. And they introduce Naomi, and Naomi's going and all that stuff, and they're about to close the elimination chamber right for them, and then you hear Jay Cargo's music, and then she runs down. I think they waited too long for that. I think what it would have been the right move was when Naomi was being introduced, kind of like when Carmelo hit from behind to Jawa when he was being introduced. Obviously, it's not the same because Carmelo was leaving, but when Naomi was going, like doing her song and all that stuff, that's when you don't even hear Jay Cargo's music. You just have Jay Cargo hit her from behind and start beating the crap out of her. Because this is what got me upset. When Jay Cargo attacks Naomi in the elimination chamber, she absolutely does not even acknowledge or does not even do anything when it comes to Bianca Belair. And I feel that it left like us wondering, like, what? Like, why did you just attack Naomi? Like, how, what? And then you just see Bianca Belair crying and like going on hysterical and all that stuff in her pod. But it felt wrong. It felt like it was, again, another story where I think they kind of could have done a better job in that aspect. You would have gone ahead, had her attack before she even made it, and you don't, just because she slammed her face with the sliding gate doesn't mean that would have knocked her out either. She could have thrown it through a table or something, or thrown it through the fans. I don't know. She could have done something to Naomi to knock her out completely. But then what you could do is Jay Cargo from the entrance scene starts looking to the elimination chamber and starts looking at them over there. Or maybe she walks halfway and then she looks at the elimination chamber at the ring and just stares at it. And then it leaves you intrigued because you don't know if she's going ahead and gonna go after Bianca Belair or gonna go after Liv Morgan or what is going on. But it feels like she gave us a little bit more. It kept us a little bit more on. This was like, hey, I'm gonna come beat her up and then I'm just gonna walk out. And she didn't even look at Bianca Belair. So I was disappointed at that when it came to that particular moment of the match at the beginning of the match with the Elimination Chamber. Sorry, I went on a long
No, you're good. You're good. I wasn't gonna interrupt you, but I think you're wrong. From this standpoint, is if she does that, then you automatically know Naomi's getting her ass kicked. When she's coming to the ring the whole time, everybody thinks she's coming to kick Liv Morgan's ass because that's what Bianca and Naomi and all this has been set up, right? It's Liv, it's Raquel, it's all that. I personally think, and I saw it Sneak Attack 305 put on Naomi's wig, I think Bianca got in Naomi's head, got her to do the attack so that, again, she probably saw who attacked her. And if it is Naomi, it's somebody she knows. So she's not going to expect to, her defenses are down. She's not going to expect it. And then she gets taken out. But the thing is, I believe the more of the story is going to be that ultimately the betrayal of Bianca to Jade, which right now Bianca can still play it up. You saw it in the interview last night. She's like, I don't want to make any statements, so I talked to both of them because I respect both of them, and we need to figure it out. I'm still confused about what's going on. And in the whole thing, I believe, like you said with The Rock, is she wants to control everything. Bianca's controlling everything. And because when she walks in the cage, if you watch Naomi, she looks to Bianca like, oh, shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's on.
Mm-hmm.
And then Bianca's screaming, like, again, putting on a show because she knows what she's done. She's got to play it off. Like, I don't know what the hell's going on because if she's over there going, what the hell, then it's going to make her look more. I believe it's still going to go out with her and Jade still like trying to figure things out. And then ultimately the betrayal will happen. And to be honest, let's jump into what happened last night. Rhea Ripley loses the title to Io Sky to close out Raw because ultimately I believe now this triple threat match has been made so that Jade Cargill can take out Bianca Belair.
Okay, so here's one thing before,
and that's if they make it a triple threat. They haven't done that yet.
They're insinuating it.
I believe that's where it's going because at the end, if anybody saw the TikTok from WWE, they show Rhea, they show Io standing on the apron with the belt, and then they show Bianca, and then they keep going back and forth to the three of them.
I think, and again, and I'm bringing this up a lot, because you guys are going to be like, damn, Frankie's bringing it up again, up a lot. But here's the issue again. Here's where the storytelling gets me upset. Because, again, where does this come from? Where does Io Sky all of a sudden decide to get a win and upset Rhea Ripley? Like, why did they include her in the first place? Like,
Well,
where does she come from? Like, tell me a backdrop, that like a story telling me why she was able to skip over being in the elimination chamber, because she lost. She literally lost.
She lost because of Rhea.
She did, but she lost.
Rhea got her disqualified.
So she gets to go over all of these women, and then on top of that, she beats Rhea Ripley. Like, how does that make any sense for you to just? So then, you know what? Let me just go ahead and tell somebody to kind of interfere in my match.
The history of NXT and everything else, I don't think Rhea has ever beat Io.
Yeah, they said that on Monday night. They were like, Rhea and Io have never. Rhea has never beaten Io on a one-on-one matchup.
And I believe the same goes clear for Bianca as well.
So, but why randomly bring Io Sky into this? Like, it's just for me, it was a little bit weird that they went that route.
Well, I believe it's to start. I believe Rhea is, again, I don't know if she's going to go full heel, but I believe you're going to start seeing a transition from the lovey-dovey type Rhea Ripley to the ass kicker again, like she was at Judgment Day. I believe you're going to start seeing that now because, again, she had that moment to where, like, she's just upset with herself and everything else, to where ultimately I think that's where, it's going to change a little bit and then it'll go. And, No Doubt says, the whole thing is to get the title on Bianca and have the feud with Jade to raise Jade's level to title contender. I don't know necessarily that those two would need the title right now. And I think it's too soon for Jade.
Yeah.
If you put her at the top of that roster, like, again, I've only seen her in 6 women, tag teams, and very short single matches. They've kept her very, bottled up in a way.
That's why, for example, it's either going to be, how many more pay-per-views are there or live events they have left before WrestleMania? What's next?
It's just Raws and SmackDowns. That's it.
Also, so the next big live event is going to be WrestleMania.
Yes.
WrestleMania is in April, right? So they don't have anything in March.
No, the first live event is, I believe, the week after WrestleMania is the first live event.
Okay, so what makes sense, right, is that Jade Cargill goes against Naomi at WrestleMania, maybe night 1. And then in a way, Bianca kind of shows her true colors and helps Naomi beat Jade Cargill at WrestleMania, right?
Yeah,
That
maybe
would make
possibly,
that would probably make the sense.
yeah.
But then eventually, if you have Bianca versus Io Sky, and if they do include Rhea in it, then Jade Cargill comes in there and costs Bianca
Sure,
the
yeah.
title, and
Yeah.
then all of a sudden you have it like that. But again, if you make it a 3-way, I just don't know how are you going to include Rhea in it. Like I know you mentioned that she has a rematch clause,
Yeah,
but
every champion usually gets a rematch clause. Again, I'm just thinking of ways that they throw it in there. Most of the time, it's not announced that they're gonna, but I don't know. Again, they've done so many turns and twists on this way right now that I don't know. But to me, it feels like they're going to do that, and then that's where she breaks through and wins because Jade takes out Bianca, and then Rhea finally gets the win over Io and regains the title.
yeah, I mean, like I said, man, I was a little bit surprised of that. It seems like a curveball of why either somebody really really likes Io Sky back there,
Triple H is a
or
big fan of Io Sky. Triple H is a big fan of Io Sky,
or or,
but he's
or
also a big fan of Rhea. So again,
it,
I feel like this is a way to get more women involved in the match. And look, I get it that it maybe wasn't a great.
but you don't think Rhea versus Bianca would have been a big draw already? Just those two girls going at it. I mean, that's a
Yeah, it
big.
would, but then what do you do with Io? Io's been busting her ass for the whole year. Everybody else on the team's getting hurt. And I thought it was cool during that match. She did every one of their finishers. She did the Kyrie Sane elbow. She did the Oscar lock. She did the knees from Dakota Kai. So, and again, I think she's just look, she gets the win there. She gets the next 6-7 weeks to parade as champion. Rhea sulks in her sorrows and starts building up the thing there. The whole Jade and Bianca thing plays out. And I think ultimately, really, this is just Io getting a good 7 to 8 week run with the title. And then ultimately, everything gets reset at WrestleMania.
Mm, okay. Okay. I
Again,
don't see it that way.
I,
I think it wasn't necessary, but if they feel that they want to reward Io for her hard work, and like you said, obviously Dakota and Kyrie Zane have been injured, and she's the only one that kind of has not. Even Oscar, we haven't seen Oscar in a long ass time either.
she's out. She's out for a while. She's gone. She's
Yeah.
hurt.
So those girls have all been injured, and the only one that has kept going is Io Sky, and that's the way you wanted to reward her. Then that makes sense. I could see
And
that.
again, they kind of played at least a little bit of a story where Rhea went up to her and said, "Look, I don't owe you anything, but I'm going to give you a title match after the Monday after Elimination Chamber because I did cost you the match." And again, and then she had Io beat. Remember, she had Io beat, and then she got mad at Bianca because Bianca was on the ground saying, "Let's go, Io, get in the ring, get in the ring." Then she looked down. She had Io hooked up on a riptide at the top and said, "I'll see you at WrestleMania." And then that's where everything went south.
But let me ask you something. Why wasn't the fight called off when Bianca got involved? Because
Yes, that was the one thing I didn't. But I mean, maybe because Rhea pushed her, but Bianca went to swing, and that's when Jessica got involved, so that the punch never landed. But Rhea was the one pushing her. Is the only thing I can think of. I haven't went back and looked at that whole exchange, but I don't think a punch, because a punch to me, and that's honestly where I thought they were going to go with this. I was like, damn, Io's going to get cheated out of this shit again because Bianca's going to hit Rhea and cost.
well, they could flip it. They could actually flip it right now and be like, "Hey, Bianca got involved, and it should have been a disqualification, and that's why I should have
And
never
then
lost the belt in the
now
first
you
place."
add Rhea back into the match
And
again.
then you could add Rhea that way.
Now you've got a built-in thing. It's kind of like when and this is pretty when Chris Benoit won the WCW title.
Great character to bring up.
Sorry. I wanted to do this because a lot of people in WCW at the time were upset. And this was right at the time where they said, if you're not happy here, tell us and we'll let you out of your contract. And that's when the what were they called? The Rascals or whatever they were called, when they left Guerrero, Benoit, Saturn, Malenko. Well, that Sunday, the Monday they had the meeting. The Sunday, they put the title on Benoit. But what they did was, when he was getting the pin at the last minute, they told Sid to slide his foot outside the rope. The ref still counted 3, like nothing was done. And then on Monday night, they were like, okay, they're gone.
The Radicals. Yeah.
The Radicals, thank you, the Rascals. I guess because I thought they were small. But so then they were able to reverse it and be like, the title's gonna get, back to the champion because he wasn't pinned. And that's where, again, you set yourself up at least a way to where
you have an out.
Make it more, an out or another way to throw her back in, because now, hey, that should have been a disqualification. But also it'll start leading toward Rhea becoming more heelish as well, because she's going to be demanding instead of being like the baby face, like, oh, I shouldn't have allowed it to happen. No. Bianca cost me.
No.
You start seeing little things like that.
Now, no doubt did go ahead and said you think EO is getting rewarded for consistency like Liv did last year. And I think based on what I'm getting from you, Sean, is that you do feel like she is getting rewarded for her hard work throughout the whole year. And then you mentioned it more than once, but do you guys think Bianca was one who set up the hit on Jade? And I think so, because there's another reason why I think the turn for Bianca we're getting is because what is it, Montez Jordan, her man
Ford. No, Montel Jordan is a singer. Montez Ford.
I'm so bad with his names. Montez Ford. I'm Montez Jordan. You guys are gonna crack up on me now. Now I'm gonna get like freaking picked on the chat board. Watch. Ford, he is now a heel as well. So now that he's a heel, it makes perfect sense for her to become a heel as well.
Yeah, and Sneak Attack 305 said about the time in the Royal Rumble when Naomi went to hug Jordan Grace, and Bianca got mad. Remember, it's kind of the controlling thing.
You see how everything like nuggets here and there, we could always fall back.
And that's what I love about her, because look, I'm not going to remember everything. You're not going to remember everything. This is how we do it.
Thanks, Cap. I knew somebody was gonna throw. Sorry, my wrestling. Elton John Cena. Thanks, Karun. I appreciate it, bro. Like, okay, keep him coming, guys. Keep him coming. I knew this was gonna come. Like my name drops sometimes are wrestling name drops are completely horrible. Sorry, guys. It's just my memory. When I get even older, I really honestly feel I'm gonna suffer of Alzheimer's because I suck at remembering stuff. It's really bad right now. But I do like Elton John Cena, and this is how we do it.
Good.
Yeah,
that's good, man.
Clever.
That is very good. The other one, the last one, man. We'll do like 3 seconds on this. Jay Gunther getting stale, correct?
Oh man, yeah, man.
And we got 7 weeks to go, people. Yeah,
that's a little bit rough, man. That's a little.
And this is where I feel like they're pushing the Jey Uso thing because they're going to turn him heel. They got to get his merchandise out. Get his merchandise out. Go.
But I actually saw a Penta post because people were criticizing Penta already, saying, "Hey, Penta keeps throwing the Cero Miedo thing consistently," and then Penta. I don't know if you saw this, but on his post, on his Instagram story, he's like, I love the fans when they say I'm throwing the Cero Miedo so much, but then when you see Jey Uso, everybody's yeeting all the time. So when he said that, I was like, oh man, it's so good, because Penta would be a good opponent for Jey Uso after this Gunther situation. Obviously, it might be jumping the gun, but I don't think Penta would beat Jey Uso because of Jey Uso's, you have to do your hard work. You have to put in your work before you could get to that. But it just, I sent a message to Penta. Penta, if you're watching the show, por favor, contésteme. No me ignores. Don't ignore me. I told him that's why I support him, and that's why he's one of my favorite fans. So I like.
Did you get your mask yet?
Huh?
Did you get your mask yet?
No.
What?
No. It's
what is that? A little kid sewing it or what?
WWE, bro, get your shit together. I feel like I ordered it from AEW. Wow. It's bad. I have not gotten it, bro. That's how much of a demand I guess they had for them.
Yeah, I think they underestimated how big. I think they knew, okay, they're gonna get this, but I don't think the whole lucha thing. And then I know somebody talked about Chad Gable. Last night he met some Mr. Miyagi guy in an alley. He gave him $500 and he gave him a box. And he opened the box and his eyes lit up. What is in the box? Nobody knows yet. but we will see. He's in Mexico to learn the art of lucha, so he can come back and fight Penta and Mysterio and Dragon Lee and all these guys. And then also now they have they've bought the trademark for Lucha Underground, which was a show that was around a long time ago where I think Ricochet was Grand Puma, or Swerve. One of them was Grand Puma. You had a lot of the AEW talent in there, and you had a lot of the WWE talent in there as well. So we'll see if maybe Chad Gable opens up Lucha Underground, and maybe they do it like the matches back in the day. What was that they opened up when they were doing the MMA stuff? Raw After Dark or Raw Underground or wherever the hell that was, when Shane McMahon opened it up and there was a door and you had to go in and it was just all MMA fighting and all that stuff. Maybe that's what Chad Gable does. He opens up the lucha.
I kind of see it a different way. And I'm gonna throw something different. Maybe you guys will agree with me, or maybe you won't.
Real quick, before you do this, I want to say one thing. I feel terrible for Dragon Lee. Remember, Dragon Lee signed with AEW. Then he left AEW because Rey Mysterio was going to take over for Rey Mysterio as the luchador for WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Since then, they brought in the Wilds, the two LWO guys, Penta, Ray Phoenix is on the way.
Yeah.
I mean, this poor guy.
Well, you also got to look and see if he ever got a pop. And they gave him a couple of shots, man, and he never got the pop that everybody thought he was going to get, to be honest with you, right when he moved over.
Sneak Attack 305, thank you for watching, sir.
But here's where I'm going to go. Here's where I'm going to go with this. I think in the box, we got something cooking with...
Oh, boy. Say it.
The Judgment Day.
Okay.
And the reason I say a Judgment Day is because Dominic Mysterio keeps bringing up that we need to add another person to the group. And it would only make sense that it would be Chad Gable making his way over to the Judgment Day. Now.
Yeah, but then what happens to American Made and Ivy Nile?
American Made, do we even know who American Made is on their own? That was I know that's I don't want to go into too much of it because I know in the spin the wheel thing and I was telling you that's one of the things I wanted to kind of like address if it does land to that topic, but that's what I was kind of like. Sometimes I feel WWE doesn't do their due diligence compared to years ago of how to develop a wrestler's character and their name brand.
It also falls on the performer too.
True, it does.
Hopefully it lands on that because then we can discuss that.
Yeah, but I feel that would be a good way to bring in a new member into it. And if you guys want to incorporate a mask, perfect time to give Finn Balor's mask to Chad Gable. And then now you could create another heated moment there of Chad Gable versus Finn Balor because Finn Balor's going to be pissed off.
No, you don't give the demon mask.
Yes, of course, bro. Especially since Chad Gable has the same characteristics. He's such an asshole in everything.
No.
It's a great way, man. It's different stories, and you do. I told you were gonna be like, Frankie, you're crazy, but I'm thinking outside the box.
I mean,
just like
that would make sense if he did that, and they kind of sent the Creeds on their way because again, they were told to have gold when he came back. They're not going to have gold when he comes back.
Yeah.
So there's a way to get. I'm done with you guys, and then he could go to judges. So. There's a path to what you were saying. I just don't like the whole demon mask. What happens to the Creeds if Julius goes full? I don't think he's going full UFC. He does a lot of the wrestling training and things like that. And I know he's a coach with Daniel Cormier on The Ultimate Fighter. So, but that's what he does. That's his thing. They are both, just like Gable. They are legit wrestlers, man. They can shoot wrestle better than probably anybody else in WWE. All right, it is time now to switch over to AEW talk, and then we will do the spin of the wheel. So Frank, I don't know if you saw the interview with MJF today. He said that he wouldn't say how much he was making, but he said that when he's done, he will make close to $15 million on the contract
Not bad.
that he has with
AEW.
And he said he's right up there with a lot of the top names, which would put him up there with the top names. But then it got me to thinking, though, like if he's at 15 million, what are the contracts in AEW right now, man?
Well, do you think he's making more than Will Ospreay?
I mean, I don't know if he's making more, maybe making the same.
Okay, is he making more than?
He wouldn't say how many years was on the deal either. So I don't know if it's 3 years, 15 million, 5 years, 15 million, 4 years, 15 million. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know where that's at.
All right, let's keep going. Is he making more than Cope?
It would have to be there or cope a little more.
Okay, I feel that he's making more than Kenny Omega because Kenny Omega is part of the old.
Well, Kenny Omega, they can change that around because they can hide the money on the office side.
Correct.
Instead of the performer side.
But then you also got
Mercedes Moné.
Mercedes Moné is another one, and Okada. These are guys that I mean, I don't think Bobby Lashley and those guys are making that much to that extreme. I don't think they are. I think they're still underneath.
I guarantee you they're probably in the $2 to $3 million range.
Okay.
At least Lashley. Now, I'm not saying all of them because MVP is also doing the manager role. So, again, maybe not as much, but I think Lashley, because I believe they have plans for Lashley. The way they are booking him, to me, looks like, again, it feels like when he's in the ring, he's the monster that I always wanted to see. And you got glimpses of in WWE. But then what VKM would always do is he would, and honestly, it's what Tony Khan does with Lance Archer and Brian Cage. You make them look like monsters to feed them to the next guy. And that drives me crazy, man, with the usage of some of the big guys there. But when I saw that, I was like, oh, interesting. Because, again, we thought they were making, but if you got, say each of them are making $5 million a year, the four of them, meaning Okada, Ospreay, MJF, Moné. If you say each one's making even 3 years, 15 million. If you're making 50 million in 3 years, that's $60 million in contracts.
That's why those TV deals are their bread and butter, because if they don't get those TV deals, they're screwed.
Yeah, 100%. And the other thing I wanted to talk to you about, and God, please tell me.
Hold on, before you continue, is that the same interview where they mentioned him if he watched the John Cena turn, and he said? So what do you think about that? Do you agree with his comments?
I agree 100%. They're lying. Everybody watches everybody, man.
So if you guys didn't watch the interview,
maybe your John Cena's isn't as, because they're busy doing other things, but the ones that are like, wrestling and then fly in, because he's right. How can you be a student of the game if you're not watching the game?
That is true. I agree with him 100%. And if you guys didn't watch the interview, it's basically him saying, they asked him if you're watching the competition, and his response is, there's two reasons you need to watch the competition. Number one is, if you're not watching it, then you're not a student of the game. You're not going to be able to learn. And what was the second reason? I think the second reason was just, being a fan or something like that. I don't remember.
He said you're lying. He said,
people are lying. Yes, correct. That they're
you're lying, or you're not being true to your profession and becoming a student of the game.
Correct.
And I agree 100% with it. Because again, you watch it, because the thing with wrestling and when I get it at the independent level, but I would watch from the curtain. I would watch things because you watch one, how's the crowd reacting? What are they reacting to? Are they reacting to the big stuff? Are they reacting more to the entertainment stuff? And then you can kind of pace your match. And I get it, TV's different because TV, you're out there wrestling for the red light, basically.
Yeah.
But it allows you to watch different things and how different moves get set up. Because look, you're probably not inventing a whole lot of new moves in wrestling going forward. Now it's, how do I get into that move? Or can I do a move out of this move into something else? So now you're trying to figure out, different ways to set yourself apart. And if you're not doing that, then you're doing a disservice to yourself.
Yeah.
Or like you said, you're just lying and saying you're not when you really are. I mean, hell, look, Rhea was ringside. You think she wasn't watching as that stuff was going on? She most definitely was watching how everything was going on. I guarantee you.
Yeah, you have to watch.
And she was looking at how the interaction backstage and everything else. I guarantee you she was keeping her ear to the ground on that one.
And not only that, but I think at the same time, when you're in a wrestling company, you develop a bond with a lot of people. So you're going to go ahead and support them. And then the reason I say that is because when Ricky Starks, because I'm not calling him Ricky Saints.
Oh, come on, man. When the Saints go marching in.
I mean, although he gave
go marching in.
He gave a good reason why he called his name Saints. But when Ricky Starks made his way over to the NXT world, Thunder Rosa actually spoke about it, and Thunder Rosa said, "Yeah, I'm happy for him, and I'll be tuning in and watching him as well." So it's like you develop a friendship. It's like if you or me were wrestlers, and you end up going to WWE, then I'm gonna be like, "Yeah, I'm still gonna talk to him. I'm still gonna watch him and lift him."
I would never watch another thing of yours. I'm not gonna lie to you. All right.
Well, that's because I would go ahead and hire my best friend Brock Lesnar to take you out.
Yeah, you would. Yeah, probably would. Brock Lesnar F5 me and Goldberg would spear me.
That would be amazing. Yeah,
Let's
my two favorite. And
I'd say this to you, buddy.
Is that a duck? Darwin Duck? Oh my God, this guy, bro. I'll say that I returned that favor with right there. We are Chicago.
Oh my goodness, Frankie Fresco. Well, I got that, and I see you this.
Listen up, you bald fraud. Listen up, you bald fraud. Listen up, you bald fraud. Listen up, you bald fraud.
You do know that you're bald as well, right? You do know that.
What are you talking about? I got speckle on my head. I'm good. You're the bald fraud. I'm just bald.
I'm not a bald fraud because I actually go bald as well. Bald frauds, in my opinion, are people who want to go ahead and leave like their little bit of hair and try to see if their hairline can still support.
Yeah.
We don't do that. We know our hairline is gone.
Yeah, my hairline left me in 1990 something.
Yeah, I already know my hairline was gone a while back. And even my, you know what's messed up? My friends back in the day, they when I used to work in the office at my current job, they took a picture of me. What a bunch of assholes! And then they sent it to me, and my hairline would go it would look like an M. Because it was so bad. I was like, oh my God. And after he did that, I went and said, no, you did that to me? Fuck. So I said, I got to go bald, bro. I can't do that anymore. So yeah.
I used to have it where I brush it straight down on the top, and then like the top started getting longer and longer. And I was like, bro, like, all right, done.
You got to give it. You got to give it. I'm not going to mention his name, but I have a friend of mine that actually flew over to Colombia and he got plugs stuck in his hair. So when I saw him recently, I saw him maybe like about
Memo's got that kind of money?
Yeah, Memo does have that type of money, absolutely. And then he plugged his hair and he has hair now. And I'm like, I saw him and I'm like, you look weird, dude. Wait, hold on. So did you do something to your hair? And dude, it's funny. But the thing is, it's very expensive because you have to maintain it. So you have to go back and fix it up because it doesn't last forever. So I was like, man, that's too much. Just go bald, dude. That's why. Props to John Cena, bro. He knows that he has that ball spot in the back.
He's loving it, man. He's loving life there.
NWO, baby. NWO.
Somebody, you know what? Cody should beat him down and then spray paint that.
Oh, my God. On the ring. You put the ring and W and then his head on the O.
Head on the thing. Oh.
That would be awesome.
God for Life, yeah. Chris Van Vliet has got a lot of good interviews up. And he just did a thing in Toronto on Sunday with the Hurt Syndicate live. It was a live show. So this is the one thing I want to talk to you about, and we're going to do our picks after we do the spin the wheel. But all right, this is what I want you to do for me. Frankie Fresco.
Remember them.
When I say the names, I want you to count how many are AEW homegrown talent on this list.
I'll try.
All right.
Do it.
John Moxley versus Adam Copeland.
None.
Neither, right?
None of them.
Tony Storm, Mariah May.
None of them.
Mercedes Moné, Momo Watanabe.
Momo Watanabe. No, none of them.
Hurt Syndicate, Outrunners.
Well, no, nobody.
Yeah,
I mean, the Outrunners, maybe.
they've kind of become known in
Let's give them
AEW. So I guess we could make that AEW town. That we'll give it to them.
And I like them. I'm a big fan of them.
Yeah, I know. I love the 80s stuff, dude. And the fact that they do the WCW effect on them when they're going to the ring with the wave looking film. Oh, so
they've caught my attention. I like
yeah,
them.
yeah.
And they're from Miami, or at least they're repping Miami. So
yeah. Hurt Syndicate versus the Outrunners. Just said that one. Ricochet versus Swerve Strickland.
neither one.
Takeshita versus Omega. Technically by default, I guess Omega.
But Omega had a name before, right?
Yeah.
So has his name gotten better or bigger in the AEW world, in your opinion?
I'll give them that one because again, he didn't make his name in. I mean, I know it was New Japan, but it wasn't WWE, I guess. In a way.
Okay. All right, we'll give him that one.
You know what? No, we won't because Takeshita is the same way.
Correct.
So if you can't give him Takeshita, we can't give him Omega. Kyle Fletcher, Will Ospreay. MJF, Hangman Adam Page.
MJF.
Yeah. I mean, he was making his name as a Ring of Honor, but he has become MJF.
Yeah, his name blew up in AEW.
So that's him and the Outrunners right now. Big Boom and AJ, Mark Briscoe, Orange Cassidy.
I didn't even know Orange Cassidy was wrestling in this card.
He's on the free hour.
Oh, this is the free hour?
This match is the free match, yeah. Against Johnny TV and M Collection.
I've never liked that M Collection, guys. I didn't like him in WWE, and I don't like him in AEW either. But again, yeah, nothing.
So 2, right?
Yeah, only Orange Cassidy.
That is your 3 with Orange Cassidy. That's your AEW Revolution card. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 matches, and you have 3 homegrown AEW names.
I remember what he said back in the day when he first started AEW, that he was going to be different than WWE, and he was going to go ahead and get new talent and develop new talent and all that stuff. And he's kind of really, really lost that. Like
what he's done is he's done stealing the New Japan talent and all that. That's what he's done. Honestly, think about it. What has he done? He's done partnerships, and then when those contracts are up, they're in AEW.
Let me ask you something, man. Do you feel that has hurt AEW? If he would have still had some of those young grown talent, which have made a lot now they're starting to make their way over to the NXT world, apparently. But do you think you lost fans doing that, going that route?
I don't know that you necessarily lost fans, but I think you make your product stale.
Can you explain in what sense?
Because
why?
to me, yes, Kyle Fletcher, Will Ospreay is a hell of a match. They're 2 great athletes. But after I watch it one time, you haven't built up enough talent to switch this around. I mean, you had to do MJF and Hangman. Hangman Page was just a heel 3 weeks ago. You had to turn this thing total around so MJF had a match on this card.
Yeah.
I mean, and you're running back Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay in a steel cage.
That's like the 4th time, right?
Yeah, you're running back Ricochet and Swerve Strickland again.
Twice.
You're running back, Takeshita Omega was really a tag match, but you're running that one back in a way. Tony Storm, Mariah May for the 3rd time.
Yeah.
Moxley and Cope. We've seen it before, but it's the first time, I guess, in AEW.
Yeah.
But at least this time also, the one thing that I do like, though, is it's a focused main event. It's not 5 guys and you're trying to figure out, it's one-on-one. It's Death Riders. It's Cope. It's at least to me, it feels like there's a focus on the whole the ending of it, I guess.
Did they? I don't think they've taken out Wheeler Yuta. I think he's the only one still available.
Well, no. Guess what match is booked for this Wednesday?
What?
Cope versus Wheeler Yuta.
Oh, yeah, because I saw he gave on Saturday Collision. I was one of the random guys who actually saw it.
Yeah.
He had given Wheeler Yuta, I believe, the briefcase. So Wheeler Yuta is now the one holding the briefcase.
Oh,
So I was like,
death, right? That's the handshake. That's the Cody Rhodes handshake.
okay, with the briefcase. I was like, oh, okay, so Wheeler Yuta's still in this, and then all of a
He's the
sudden,
only one I believe left right now.
yeah, but like you said, I like that because that means it's gonna be a one-on-one and no interference by anybody.
No, that just means everybody's coming back at the end of the show.
Oh, please don't do it. Don't do it, AEW. Don't do it. He knocked everybody out for a reason. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I did find it odd though that now like Cope is by himself with Jay White, and FTR teamed up with Daniel Garcia.
Yeah. It's look, you know how I criticize WWE and their story, their character development and all that stuff. AEW just does over supersedes them in like, hey, how can we do it even worse? Like, and it sucks because like, I mean, at least they're trying. At least they're trying. That's what I like.
And it's gotten better, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
There's certain storylines.
Yeah,
like
there's
Ricochet has been really good. I like that.
It has been, and now you've thrown in the Prince Nana unknown, where he said, "Hey, you get my robe back. I don't know if I can keep doing this."
Yeah.
Now you throw in the thing like, oh.
You have some storytelling in
Nana could turn on Swerve and go with Ricochet. That would be a hell of a thing to do. And then now you've got Swerve by himself. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many ways and different things you can go. I'm just happy that they're finally, it's not 5 guys in the main event. And you're trying to be like, who saves AEW? And none of them save AEW. And now all of a sudden it's come down to Cope to save AEW. Like, that's the thing. It's like,
we only need one AEW Stampede. Only one. We don't need like 20 of them every single live event. Just saying.
That is very true. That is very true. All right, Frankie Fresco, you got to keep talking for a minute while I get everything set up here on the wheel.
Well, while we're getting the wheel set up, because obviously you guys, if you don't know, I do not have access to the wheel, and I do not have access to like when he throws the CM Punk ball-headed shots and stuff like that. I don't have access to any of that. I think Sean does that on purpose. But I will say this when it comes to the AEW, before we go to the wheel, there is some really good storytelling on it. Like the Mariah Mays, Tony Storm is really good. Yes. The Kyle Fletcher Will Ospreay we're seeing like the
good. Tesco Omega's good. That Don Callis thing is good. I mean, it'd be better if you could finally get a guy, I guess that would make sense as the 5th. You keep throwing Mark Davis out there, but he never does anything.
Why didn't they put Chris Jericho in this?
And then you put out well, you saw on the, what was the one Dynamite? Was it Dynamite? It was Dynamite, right? Brian Keith took on Will Ospreay to collect the bounty. He became the bounty hunter Brian Keith again.
Yeah, why? I like him as the bad apple.
He's the bad apple still for one night only. He became the back to his bounty hunter days. Chris Jericho allowed it so that he could collect the bounty.
And why isn't
at least it allowed Brian Keith to show what the hell he could do.
Look, let me ask you before you go to the wheel, why did the trios match? Why put Orange Cassidy and all those guys if you could have easily putting in Big Bill versus Powerhouse Hobbs, bro? That would be a good one.
Maybe they add a couple matches because right now they only have one match on the free, which is that 6-man. So
they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 matches. You're right, because they usually run like 11 or 12 matches.
Yeah, they go 8, so you'll probably get a couple more added.
Yeah, I probably will.
Yep. All right, here we go. Spin the wheel, and guess what, Frankie Fresco?
I'm out.
No, sir, you're in the wheel. I figured it out.
You included me.
I included you, man.
Oh my God.
I talked with Sammy, and I was like, the simplest thing, I was like, I never even thought about, I add you to the other ones. I never thought of adding you to this one.
This is like the most beautiful thing as a gift you could have given me, that you don't kick me out anymore, that you leave me in the wheel.
Thank you.
Now, is the wheel going to actually spin, though?
Oh, no, the wheel's going to spin, but I got to figure out how to get you into this picture now.
Oh, then you're going to kick me out again. Yes.
No, I won't kick you out again, man.
Kick me out.
Hold on a minute. I got to make sure I got you set
Just don't
up.
slap me like Travis Scott did.
Oh no! If I slap you, I'm breaking your eardrums, buddy.
Oh,
I'm breaking your eardrums.
don't pull a Cody on me. I'm not Cody. A guy slaps me, I'm coming back. Yeah, that's twice. Didn't The Rock slap the crap out of Cody, or was it Cody who slapped The Rock? I forgot.
Cody slapped The Rock.
So Travis Scott returned a favor. There you go.
Yeah, that's probably what he said. That's why he's like, "Yo, you need to give it to him." All right, you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go.
It actually worked. I'm impressed.
Come on, good thing. Come on, good thing.
Let's see. Okay.
All right, here we go.
Talk to me about this one.
All right, so who do you think?
Wait,
that is not-
what happened here?
What happened? You can see our comments now on this one. The Outrunners are incredible.
Did you do that on purpose?
Yeah, kind of, sort of.
And you're
I
like,
can't figure out how
you-
I'm
you-
not in the screen anymore. I don't understand why my camera keeps moving. I can't go with my fat ass. I'm on my desk right now. I'm gonna have to lay across my desk to do this episode.
just turn your camera. You can't turn the camera a little bit.
No, because then when I go back to the other shot, I'll have to change it again.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Jesus Christ! All right, so this whole thing is about who do you think's not in the Hall of Fame that is Hall of Fame worthy? One name from you. Who say you?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't. I didn't do my research on this, so I'm sorry. Who is in the Hall of Fame? Who are the guys? Who are the people that they call?
Say names, and I'll tell you if they're in.
Okay. Let me think. Who would be a good Hall of Famer that I might not be in there? That they
I'm
have
gonna
to.
go with a celebrity, just to let you know.
But do they have to be
Used to-
currently active or not, or it doesn't matter?
What happened?
Sammy's giving you pointers.
Yeah, as we're
Live.
going here.
I love it. Is it okay if I say active people as well, like active wrestlers, kind of like Rey Mysterio? Like Rey Mysterio, he's an active one, so he's in the Hall of Fame as well. Is
Yeah.
that okay?
Sure.
Okay, is Randy Orton in the Hall of Fame?
No.
I would probably put Randy Orton in there because Randy Orton has been in the game for quite some time. I think he deserves it by now. Obviously, Sean is not paying absolutely no attention.
I am not. Look at this. Look at me. Oh, centered, baby. Oh, man, this guy. I'm getting pointers as the show's going on, man. So good at this.
But let me ask you something. Did you specifically want the comments on the bottom?
It was just part of the thing, and I just too lazy to take them out. So,
Oh, does Revolution interest you, gentlemen? Yeah, why not?
yes.
Outrunners
Yeah.
are incredible.
I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch Revolution. AEW always delivers on pay-per-view.
That's
I've
true.
never had an issue with an AEW pay-per-view. And for me, my pick is a celebrity wing,
Okay.
and it is Cyndi Lauper.
Oh, she's not in it?
I could not believe that. When O brought up, I think she was mentioned as a finalist or something on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame or something now.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wait, so she's not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but she's in the WWE Hall of Fame? And then I went to check, and she is not in the WWE Hall of Fame. I mean, WrestleMania 1 is not the success that it was
Without her.
without her. Without her.
100%
So
facts.
damn it. Get Cyndi Lauper in the damn Hall of Fame, Triple H. Do your damn job.
Is Tito Santana in it?
I think
Lauper?
Tito is. I believe Tito Santana is.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I like
Look
Tito
at you pulling out Tito Santana. Chico Santana, as Jesse Ventura called him. All right, here we go. Everybody's waiting.
I'm just shocked. I feel weird. I'm in the wheel.
You're not in the wheel. You're on the screen. Oh, let's redo another one. I want to get one of yours in. I want to get one of yours in. That's why.
What happened to Natalia? What?
Natalia's doing NWA. Oh, there we go. That's what you want to do, right?
Yes.
Okay, so the Natalia one real quick. Today it comes out, well, the other day it came out, she's wrestling for Bloodsport during WrestleMania weekend. And now she's been booked with Billy Corrigan and NWA. So she's doing some appearances outside of the WWE. So that is the Natalia World Tour.
Nice. I didn't know that. Good to know. All right, we're back. So the one that we're talking about is WWE making storytelling better.
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about it. And you guys can also, arriba, be more than happy to chime in. I'm noticing that there's always been a tradition in the wrestling world, right? Obviously you guys know I'm not a wrestler. I've never been a wrestler. I've just been a fan. But and Sean has been a wrestler, and there's always like your, kind of like your steady thing, right? Baby situation, kind of like the whole Dusty and Cody relationship that we're having right now, where hey, he always gets beat down and then he comes back and he wins and all that stuff. But you're seeing WWE take left turns, and when I mean left turns is like, for example, the whole situation with John Cena. John Cena, nobody ever saw it coming. If it's true that he decides to retire, that he's gonna go all the way to the end as a heel instead of just returning back as a baby. Maybe they do switch it up. Maybe they don't. I don't know. I feel like they shouldn't. I think he should retire as a heel, but maybe they don't. So you're seeing left turns when it comes to that. You're also seeing left turns in the sense that they're incorporating sometimes just weird angles when you're like, hey, was this supposed to happen or was this not supposed to happen? So my reason behind this topic is, do you feel that they're, by them giving us these left curves or these left turns, they're enhancing the product even more? Or do you feel that it could in the long run hurt them? Because when you start giving us so many left turns, all of a sudden you're going to wear out your fans, and your fans are going to be like, they're not going to be wild anymore, because then now you're basically kind of feeding your crowd like, hey, I have to see something crazy happen. If not, it sucks. And I'll give you another example. It's like Monday Night Raws all of a sudden now on Netflix. They're all becoming like, hey, they're big events now, like the Madison Square one. Now they're having all these big events. NXT is another one where they're throwing in big matches in NXT, and then you know you're you don't know what it's gonna happen with their storytelling, and you're kind of lost because you're like, oh my god, this is just too much overwhelming at one point in time. Do you feel that this can bite them, and or do you feel that this is the new route? Hey, let's keep feeding them great storylines, bigger storylines, and get bigger and bigger and bigger, and we're never gonna run out.
I think as long as you do a mixture of the storytelling and you're building the newer characters and you're bringing them along to where once a storyline ends, there's oh shoot, wait, we don't know where this goes. I think as long as you're writing out the programs and you're building up the younger talent, and you have more people to rely on, because I felt like the one thing that happened with WWE at the end with VKM was that you had like 2 or 3 guys that really got pushed and story told. And when they got hurt, then it was like, oh, now we need to make you to believe that these are the guys. Instead of just naturally being like, like Jey Uso, that's been organic, man. I mean, yes, they've given them the opportunities, but organically the Yeet movement has started just like the Yes movement. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so to me, I don't think there's an issue with it. The problem gets to when you get the dirt sheets and they don't know how to understand of, oh, wait a minute, Raw did a 3.1 the first night, and now they've dropped since then to a 2.6. Of course they did, because the first night was a damn pay-per-view. You can't do pay-per-views all the time. Or, as you're saying, they need to do only pay-per-views. Like, you can't do that every Raw. You're going to have your MSG Raws where you're going to get the steel cage, Seth and CM Punk, and those things like that. You're going to get those. NXT in New York as well this week or next week. You're getting some big-ass matches there too. So I don't think it's an issue, and I don't think there's a burnout thing there. I think what happens is people start. I mean, some fans, I guess, it might be a problem. Now that I think about it, because then they start thinking that, oh, that's what has to happen, and that's where I think AEW went wrong. To be honest, is they were doing all this on TV, right? You were getting all this shit for free.
Yeah.
And then the well run dry, and now you're having to really go back, and now you're telling stories instead of, again, you had your Adam Cole MJF story, you've had your Swerve Hangman story, you've got your stories for your top, echelon, but you've never really built stories for the other guys. And now you're starting to see them do that more. And I think it's a little bit of a revolt from their fan base, because the fan base expects it to be one way. So that you might be onto something there. But again, I think WWE gets enough casuals to where that doesn't hurt them. I mean, hell, there was people that had never watched WWE when Cena made the heel turn. And I don't know if you've seen any of the TikToks. There were guys that are like, hey, I need help with the WWE wrestling community to turn me on what to watch next, because I just watched my first thing on Netflix and I love it. And I need to know where to go to watch more. But now they're picking up these guys from the Travis Scotts, the John Cena, the Rock. They're bringing eyes on, and then now you're delivering. And then they go on the next night. And again, it was a good night. Was it a PLE? No. But it was a good night of wrestling last night. And I think as long as you keep delivering that, you're going to keep the casuals. And that's where I feel like they went wrong with AEW, was they thought, oh, we're going to be able to get all wrestling fans because we're the alternative. And then WWE changed their way, and AEW didn't adjust.
Yeah. Cool.
So to answer you, I think it can go both ways, depending on, again, the way the dirt sheets now are. Is you've got guys that, and again, man, you look at all of the sheets, you look at all the news and everything else, just like me. You can tell who's aimed one way and who's aimed another way.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, bro, this company can do no right. This company does no wrong. And then with others, that company does no wrong, and that company does no right. Yeah. And it's like, bro, I mean, come on, man. Come on, man. You like, because now everybody's like, oh, they're only getting a 2.6 rating, but that's for the live show. They stay number one through Tuesday, at least almost into Wednesday. They're the number one show on Netflix. If you go and look, most of the time, Raw is. How many more added to it? And it's like, it's the same with AEW. I get the numbers are low, but the show's good. The problem there is I think they've lost some of their base fans, and they've lost the casual fans. And unfortunately, they're not being able to gain them back, because once the casual fan gives up on you,
it's over.
They're done. They're not going to watch you again. They weren't really a fan anyways. They gave you an opportunity and you failed. So,
yeah. I just noticed something. I know this is off topic, but my name shows up on my side, but your name doesn't.
Yeah, because I added your screen in.
Oh, okay.
Because what this screen, I'm supposed to make you a contributor. Oh, okay. And then it would have brought you up like me, how I'm the little, if you noticed, you're kind of a little wider than me.
I thought you were just trying to make me like bigger than you.
No, yeah, you are. You're bigger. This is your, I'm just here tagging along, buddy. All right, almost time to end the show. Let's do our AEW.
Wait, do one more wheel.
Oh, one more wheel, man. I had the wheel put away. Hold on, let me bring the wheel.
Uno más. And Bounce, I saw you.
Uno más.
Let's see what we got. I like the wheel. At least we gotta always talk at least 3 topics, because the Natalia one we really didn't cover. Oh, I already did that
one. Go back 2 or 3 minutes. Whoops.
Oh, Lord.
Golly, man. Who's producing this shit?
Forget about the wheel then.
Damn it, we need you back.
Let's see what we got.
I hit the transition.
We need a song for the wheel. Oh, this is a good one. Good. I like it. So, and I know you guys want to chime in. So everybody's been talking about John Cena being the second biggest heel turn outside of Hollywood Hogan. So I want to get your opinion, Sean, and you guys on the chat board, and you guys are watching us on all platforms. Do you think John Cena will outshine Hollywood Hogan in this heel turn? Because keep in mind, let's give the fans a little bit of a recap of what happened with Hogan, right? So Hogan, and think about it, they could continue with the whole situation too. They could be very similar to it. Hogan double crosses WCW, everybody's shocked. John Cena did the exact same thing. What's the next step for Hollywood Hogan? He obviously wins the belt, right? So now, I mean, I don't know about you. You said earlier that you don't think Cody's gonna lose, but I think he's gonna win the belt. So I would assume it would be similar to Hogan, where Hollywood Hogan gets the belt. And then the biggest baby face in WCW, which was Goldberg, defeats Hogan and gets the belt from him, right? So that's eventually what I feel is going to happen on the opposite side with John Cena, right? And then obviously after that, WCW just went all over the place and just kind of ruined it for the whole Hollywood Hogan situation and Goldberg situation and all that stuff. Tell me, what do you think, man? Do you think WWE is gonna get it right? They're not gonna pull WCW. Do you think his Hollywood Hogan's run is gonna be not outshined by John Cena's heel?
Yeah, no, I don't think it is going to be because, again, I know this is a lot of people are looking at it as like, oh, they can't believe this. But Hogan's was really the first time where you were like, oh, man. And also, I feel like he had the perfect cast of characters.
At the beginning.
Yeah, with the outsiders, not necessarily when they got 355 people in.
And when Eric Bischoff and all them guys, that was too much.
But when you had the two of them, and again, at the time, remember what this was all about. Hall and Nash were coming from WWE. People didn't know that they were signed at the one point, and then all of a sudden you've got Hogan, who helped build WWE, and all of a sudden he's the third guy. That's kind of the way it went, and it's like, okay. But I mean, look, I don't know that the story can be as good and compelling to where Cena, and also the timetable. I just don't think there's a timetable enough for Cena to be heel to be as on the level of what Hollywood Hogan got.
Okay.
Because
unless Cena decides to not retire, right?
The fan has changed too. I think the fan dynamic of wrestling has changed.
That's a good point.
You know what I'm saying? Because again, you're with The Rock. It's Cena. It's if they keep Travis Scott with them, like that's a cool ass group, man.
Well, let's look at that. Look, Hollywood Hogan, obviously they changed the music. So obviously I'm reading Karun's message, and yes, with Van Vliet,
yeah,
he mentioned that he wanted to change the clothes, he wanted to change the music and all that stuff. Or hopefully we do get that turn from Cena where he's not wearing the shorts.
This is what I hope though. I hope that doesn't happen until WrestleMania. Let him keep coming out to The Rock's music, and then at WrestleMania break out heel Cena.
That's a very good move, man.
I would wait, man. I would wait. Why ruin it on a SmackDown or
well, you got to do it on Netflix, baby. Netflix pays the bills, so you got to do it on an hour.
Whatever it is, I mean.
Well, aren't they coming out on next Monday? Next Monday they're going to be at.
Was that accurate? Because the one I saw that tweeted it out was not a good source, so I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not sure. Guys, let us know. Let us know. I think they're supposed to show up next Monday.
Anything from WWE officially saying they were going to be there. I don't know. And now again, I haven't 100% researched it all either, but the one source that I saw that tweeted it out is not a source I will put my name on.
But not just diverting just a small little tab. Do you feel that they dropped the ball by not having Cena and Rock on that Monday night?
No, they couldn't. Cena had to fly back. He flew back that Saturday to film Sunday.
Oh, okay.
And it was The Rock in the works that they weren't. And again, without Cena, The Rock makes no sense.
Now,
what's he going to come out and do? I mean, I guess he could come out and be like, I told you I was getting somebody's soul, right? I mean,
well, they could have done a video. They did a video on SmackDown.
Yeah, but Cena literally left. As soon as he slammed the mic down, he left.
Oh, okay.
He got in the car, left to the airport. I mean, I don't know how long a flight to Budapest is, but he flew in Saturday morning and out Saturday night.
Damn, it's crazy.
He was only there for the match and then gone.
All right, so going back to what you're saying, that there is not enough time frame for Cena to kind of, I guess, I don't know if this is the right term, outshine Hollywood Hogan's heel turn. You don't do you want to see him outshine or be as close as possible to the Hollywood heel movement during that time frame when Hollywood turned on his fans in WCW?
No, because to be honest, too, though, with the way that this is, like, as I say, I don't think it's going to be bigger. I think it could have a good impact. You know, if they play it right, there's things they can do and ways they can go with it. But again, also, I think it also goes back to, I think Cena has better protagonists to be an antagonist to than what WCW had for Hogan and the Outsiders when they first did the turn. Because Sting was not what Sting was, and he had left. Yeah. So you had Luger, Savage was beaten up, and then everybody started turning to go NWO. So it was almost like there wasn't anybody there. The only reason that it was working so well was because it was so damn cool at that moment. Because they didn't give a about anybody or anything.
Yeah, they didn't have like the protagonist to go with the antagonist.
Yeah. Whereas with Cena now, you have that, and you have a lot of stories built up now. Because again, anybody in that chamber match has a gripe. Because you could be like, why the hell? We had to fight to get in there. He was handed it, and I get that he won it. I understand that. But one, he didn't fight to get into it. He didn't earn a spot. He was rewarded the spot for everything that he's done for his career. And then you could go and say, well, did the final boss make that decision? And I get it. He turned after he won, but was all of this already in motion? And that was the part that I was very interested to see how it played out. And I liked the way it played out because it ended up being Seth Rollins costing CM Punk. Instead of like the Rock's music hits, CM Punk's about to hit the go to sleep on Cena, and then he comes out, and then, you know, I don't think that would have been as good. I think the way everything worked out now set up perfectly for WrestleMania, and then also set up perfectly for after, because as you saw with CM Punk, he's already ready to go after him.
Okay.
He's already ready to go after The Rock. So there's a lot of fuel that you can throw on this fire to make it hotter than what the Hogan turn was. But that turn was so different at that time because Hulk Hogan was, my God, he was say your prayers, you know, take your vitamins, you know, everything, go work out, everything else like that. Whereas now Cena's the second person to do it. Not the first. The second. And then also with Hogan, a lot of people forget about his heel days before the Hogan run. It was almost like Hogan never existed until he beat the Iron Sheik. And that's not true. He was a heel in the WWF. He healed a lot. But everybody forgot about that when he say your prayers, ripping your bandana off. I'm a real American. And the same thing has happened with Cena. A lot of people forget he was a doctor of thugonomics. This isn't new. He's had this side the whole time. Think about when he went with The Rock. Rock, I ain't got to write something on my arm. That's a heel-ass move.
Yep.
He's always had it there. He just never needed to break it out. Now, final year, I want to get to 18. I'm going to do everything I got to do and everything in my power to make sure I have every opportunity. And that's what I think this heel turn more is about, is Cena's finally worried about himself. I don't care about anybody else. I don't care about the fans. Don't care about anything else. I care about John Cena. And if you've watched all the videos that goes around, this might be more John Cena, the real John Cena, than the John Cena we've had before. Because John Cena in his real life is a prick.
Really? Okay.
He wants things done his way. You've never watched Divas?
No.
Oh my goodness. There's an episode, and again, it's his house. His house. He's got marble floors,
I've seen some highlights where one of the girls,
tile,
his
and
wife
everything
or
else.
his girlfriend.
Yeah, he didn't want Nikki Bella to cook. He wanted to take her out because he's like, no, I don't want to scratch the table.
Yeah, that I remember seeing that highlight.
To me, he's always been that guy. He's different when he's in the thing because he's able to get away from that. But it's always been there. It's always been there.
Here's my thing. And guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but when you have a movie, right? Part 1 is always legit, right?
Hold on real quick. A good one just came in. Seth Rollins Stones.
Oh Lord. Karun, we're over it. Let's move on. Part 1 is always legit, right? And there's really very rarely do we have a movie where it says, hey, part 2 was way better than part 1, right? We always run into that
Top
situation.
Gun, baby.
Wait, Top Gun, Top Gun Part 2 was better than Part 1?
Oh, it was close. I mean, it wasn't terrible.
If you look, okay, let's look at if you're looking at the movies, right? If you look at movies, tell me a good Batman. I'm sorry, a good movie where I'm thinking Batman. That part 2 was better than part 1 because I've been a fan of. I always thought Batman Returns was better than Batman with the Joker. I don't know. That's just me. Maybe because I wasn't too. Although this guy made a phenomenal Joker, but I preferred Batman Returns and when Michael Keaton was the Batman in that one. And there's some that are better, but rarely, and that could be controversial. Some people might say, "Hey, that Batman was better," but than Batman Returns. But tell me, like, if you mention it, hey, part 2 is better than part 1, it rarely happens. But if comparing it to wrestling. That's a good point, Karun. Very good. Terminator 2 was better than Terminator 1. That's a very good one.
I'll be back.
But The Dark Knight was better than Batman Begins. That's true. Yo, you guys are throwing some really good ones out there.
They're just destroying your whole point before you even make it.
No. Here's the thing. If you have a part 2 that actually can outshine a part 1, then that means John Cena has the opportunity to outshine the Hollywood Hogan heel move back then, even though Hollywood Hogan was the very first one to do it. That's what I'm trying to get to. So and you made a very, very good solid point saying that they have a lot of good babies to go up against John Cena. Something that WCW didn't. And obviously WCW.
But also, remember one thing too, though, is that NWO became a movement.
It did.
It changed wrestling. Nothing Cena or Rock are going to do is going to change wrestling. That's the thing.
They're not making a group, which is good.
No. I'm not saying like. I mean the beginning of the NWO changed the way the wrestling, really worked. It brought DX. It brought, because again, it made WWE say, we got to get edgy. We've got to get raunchier. We've got to go to war with these guys, literally. So they changed that group. Them putting those three together allowed WCW to beat Monday Night Raw in the ratings, which changed Raw to the Attitude Era.
Yes.
Which gave us Stone Cold, Triple H, The Rock, The Undertaker. Without that turn, does everything else happen?
Probably not.
So when you look at it, again, I think it's going to be a great thing, and I think it's going to work out well. I just don't think it can ever get to what that was because there's nothing that they can do now. They're not going to change.
Wait, hold on a second.
They're not changing wrestling.
Okay, but hold on a second. But what you can't get from this is probably the next generational superstar that's going to lead and take over the old guys that are eventually going to wear out and not wrestle anymore. So you could bring in a Trick Williams and then he becomes the biggest draw in WWE. And now it's no longer Now you have Trick Williams as a big superstar. So you just developed, you've created a character that maybe was going to be a good character in WWE, but now has superseded that, and now
I
it's
think
even
Jacob
bigger.
Fatu is going to be another one too.
That you could do something like that.
You're going to have those. You're going to have some guys advance from this as it goes, and I think that's the whole point to this in a way.
Karun, you're killing me here.
The exhibit, I love it.
Yeah.
The only thing is, like, that's why I think, to me, Cena without the title is better for building guys than Cena with the title.
No.
Yes.
No, absolutely not. Cena needs to win that belt. He is the heel. Hogan won the belt. He is the heel. You gotta give it to the bad guy.
But again, that also killed the whole thing.
Well, remember,
he was the champion forever until Goldberg beat him because there was no Sting. There was nothing else.
That's the difference with the
always
WWE.
got beat down.
But that's the difference with WWE. The WWE has actual good babies to go up against John Cena.
Yeah, but if you watch what WWE has done, let's look at everything they've done. Okay.
Okay.
If you get CM Punk in with John Cena,
It's a great match.
it is a great match, right?
Yes.
You don't think Seth Rollins is going to get involved? You don't think Drew McIntyre's going to get involved?
It depends if you've already passed that, though.
No, but they have set up all of this. Again, in WWE, everything repeats itself. Everything repeats itself. It's going to go back ultimately. Drew's going to go away for a while, but ultimately, you're going to watch him come out and cost, I guarantee you, one of those guys. Seth Rollins, same thing. Hell, Seth Rollins was on a damn show the other day and was praising Cody Rhodes and was just running down CM Punk. He's like, the guy left for 10 years, tried to take us out of business. Hell, Cody Rhodes even came over to help us out more than he did. Like, I mean, there's a lot of like backstory to this stuff. And I love the fact that, look, they're probably sitting in the back afterwards, drinking some brewskis, laughing their asses off. And then they leave and like, I fucking hate you. I hate you, you son of a bitch. You know, because it works, man. But that's the thing with the Cena run, I think, is if he does win the title, he's going to be that champion to where he doesn't necessarily beat everybody, but he gets people get taken out for him. And then he wins. It's just going to happen.
I say he's gonna win, and then he's gonna take over. He's gonna do his last run because apparently this is obviously supposedly his last year. So the only way for him to win, the only way for him to succeed, and the only reason for him to turn heel is by actually accomplishing the actual getting the belt. That's the whole goal for John Cena. It's not about the fans, it's not about any of that crap. It's about me, and I had to go ahead and team up with the bad guy, The Rock, in order for me to 100% guarantee me the championship belt. If The Rock turns on him, then I don't know what to tell you. I'll be a little bit surprised on that, and then kind of give it to Cody or something. I would be surprised. Or if John Cena fails, and then The Rock turns on John Cena and says, "Oh, you didn't get the job done," or something like that. Those are things that could pan out. I just feel like it should be John Cena winning it and then going on his run. This is his last year, so make it count. Let him be the champion. Let him go against all these babies and beat them all until the right one, whether it's Cody, whether it's CM Punk, whether it's even Jey Uso. I don't know. Bring him. One of those guys eventually dethrones him, and then you move on. And then all of a sudden, now you have that you've had that run. You've had that John Cena run. You had the Roman run. You had the Cody run. Now you have the John Cena run. Who's next after that? The CM Punk run, whoever it is. So you have that little run for a while. Oh, he left.
No, keep your thoughts going. I got my dog going crazy. Hold on a minute.
Oh, okay. I thought you were trying to get out of the screen. I was like, I gotta go. So that's the only reason, guys. I feel that at the end of the day, John Cena needs to win. And if he doesn't win, I feel it does hurt, the reason for the whole turn in the first place. Like, think about it. Why would you turn? I tell this to Sean, and Sean told me, Frankie, he did it. He sold his soul. So if you sell your soul, right? And I don't know if you guys are. I don't want to go into too much of this because I know a lot of guys are gonna be like, Frankie, you're crazy. But you know how when there's that terminology of when you sell your soul, um, you accomplish it. Like a lot of people, like I mean, like Kobe Bryant. There's always that conspiracy theory saying that Kobe sold his soul, right? Or like Jay-Z and all the rich people, all the famous people sell the shows to get to the upper echelon, right? Same concept, right? You sold your soul to The Rock to win. So why would you lose? It just doesn't make any sense. It's just for me, it just doesn't make any sense if that was the case. You sell your soul, you win, and then at the end, right? Unfortunately, something bad happens to you. So that's just how I feel. Karun says Jey Uso versus John Cena would be a full circle moment, and The Rock would pick Cena with Roman sticking with Jay. That would be pretty cool. No Doubt says because Goldberg was the greatest of all time. Of course, he was the greatest of all time. We all know that. So yeah, so that's kind of like where we stand when it comes to, you know, the whole concept of John Cena. And can he actually outdo Hollywood Hogan's run? I think he can. I think Sean made a great point that if you have enough babies to feed them, why not? Like that's one thing we could go back and for all you old timers just like me that watched the Hollywood Hogan run, that was a problem that they had in WCW. They didn't have anybody legit to kind of help them. And then when you did have Goldberg, you kind of screwed Goldberg over by making him lose to Kevin Nash in this, and then Kevin Nash losing again to Hollywood Hogan and Hogan winning. That WWE is not going to make all those dumb mistakes. Those were just really, really bad mistakes that were done. And that's why eventually the whole WCW NWO thing just went out of fame, and people started saying, "Hey, I'm leaving this and I'm going to the WWE world because the WWE world is giving us this Attitude Era." There is another thing I guys wanted to you guys should check out. There's a Stone Cold podcast which is really good. He had the Undertaker a couple weeks ago. If you haven't seen it, he actually does talk about the moment that they were threatened because Stone Cold asked him, "Hey, how do you feel about like you were in a locker room where the WWE world was struggling, and that has never happened. Very rarely does that ever happen. How did you know that, hey, bro, we're in a dogfight here and this might be bad?" And Undertaker actually goes on to say, "Hey, I remember it was bad the day that he went to a show, and when he went to go, I think it was either he was yeah, like in the entrance you could see him, like people can see you, right? And when he looked on that side, all the seats were empty on that side. And he was like, holy crap, I knew that there was trouble in paradise once I saw that. I was like, damn, people are not even coming to our shows. People are going to the competition show." And that's when he felt it was like, holy crap, we got to do something about it. And he also mentions that uh, they were giving him offers left and right. Kevin Nash, Scott Hall were telling him, "Yo, you could come over here and you could bank and you could make some great freaking money." And that's where you got to give the Undertaker a lot of props because he does.
You know why they did that though, right?
Why?
Because anybody that got signed for more money than them,
Oh yeah,
the dumbass WCW rules, those contracts they signed,
yeah.
automatically went up. That's why when Bret Hart came over, they were like, "Yes, come over." They signed him for $6 million a year, and then they went to $6 million a year. Like
That was a dumb
how the hell
contract.
do you sign contracts like that? Because they thought they were leaving when they heard the fake Razor and Razor and Diesel are coming on the show next week with Jim Ross, and they're like, "You guys are leaving us?" And they didn't believe him, so they signed him to a contract with more money, right there on the spot. They got a bonus. They got a raise.
Well,
Like,
even though that was the case, and obviously, Kevin Nash and Scott Hall wanted to make more bank, obviously. But think about Undertaker talks about it, saying, "Yo, temptation is a mother," because he could have easily. They were giving him a lot. He could have been making a lot more money in WCW, but he was loyal to Vince McMahon, and I think that's something you gotta admire and give props to the Undertaker that he thugged it out. He's like, you know what, man, I'm not leaving the company. I believe in the product and the product will survive. And I think in the long run, when you look back, he made the right choice because WCW fell and
Well, remember, he was in WCW before he went to WWE.
That was another thing. He did mention that. He
He
said
was a member of the
pissed.
Skyscrapers. He replaced Sid Vicious, and they weren't going to give him more money. I mean, and he went, and I guess he told them that, he got his contract like voided, and he went that day, and then Vince called him up, and he was like, it was around the time they were doing the gobbledygooker with the egg, and he was worried that he was going to end up being Eggman.
Yeah, he does mention
Because of that SummerSlam or that Survivor Series Thanksgiving time frame, and then he ended up being what they ended up calling the Undertaker. And then, fortunate for him, they get Paul Bearer involved, who was an actual.
Oh, some coughing there. Some.
Worked at a funeral parlor,
Uh-huh.
so he was able to add even more to the character because they were able to do the vignettes at his crematory and all this stuff. So they didn't have to find a cement; they had one, his. So it was also it was a good moment there. No Doubts has always thought the introduction of Kane and his feud with the Undertaker is underappreciated. I don't know that it's underappreciated. I don't know that with all of the big moments that they ended up having together, that one part became, with all of the things that they created afterwards against each other as partners and everything else. I just think the introduction was just that. It was the introduction of Kane, and he ripped the cage off. He comes in, he does the tombstone and leaves his brother lying, and
Yep.
so, again, it was one of the weirder stories because I guess the Undertaker had burned his brother, burned the thing down. Actually, he's the one that set the fire that killed his mom. Like, when you look at the story, it was dark.
It was.
It's a dark story when everything came out. It was like, ugh. Vamos Gatos 89. How we doing, sir?
What's up, man?
All right. Are we ready to go to our final thing of the night?
Let's go for it.
AEW Revolution. It is the picks.
Ooh. It's that time.
It's that time, my friend.
See. Do you
I
want
got them up right here. You want to start with the free-for-all, or where you want to start?
Yeah, let's start with the free-for-all. Why not?
All right. Your buddies, MXM Collection and Johnny TV, take on Big Boom and AJ, Mark Briscoe, and Orange Cassidy.
Well, look, man. I mean, even if I did like them, I still wouldn't pick them. That Collection guys, and I feel so bad for Johnny TV because Johnny TV kind of like when he went over to the AEW world, he kind of has fallen down a lot. I just don't see Big Boom losing this one, so I got Orange Cassidy, Big Boom, AJ, and Mark Briscoe winning this, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I cannot argue with you there. This one is interesting, and I don't know which way I'm going yet. MJF versus Hangman Adam Page. I almost feel like this is going to be like a no decision. Like they're just going to fight and beat each other up, and it's not listed as like a normal, a fight like type match. It's just a normal match. So maybe it goes to double DQ or something. I just don't think there's a winner here, and then they keep it going, is my thought. But I know usually AEW does not do that. That's more of a WWE thing. So I'll say MJF cheats and gets the victory by like holding tights or something. I'll go that route.
Okay. I would say that maybe there was a time limit, but they only do the time limit, I think, on the Dynamites and the Collisions. I don't think they do it on the actual pay-per-views. So I don't think they could run out of time and just call it a draw. Because I think that would make more sense because I do feel they rushed this a feud between these two guys.
I mean, they're running back. Whatever happens, it's going to be something where either Hangman catches them quick or MJF catches them quick cheating and they run it back. It's going to get ran back. This doesn't end here, I don't think.
Oh man, this is a tough one. This is actually a tough one because it's such a short storyline. They just put him in really quickly. I like MJF. I think MJF would make more sense to win it, but just to go against you, I'll go ahead and pick Adam Page.
You don't gotta go against me, man. We got other matches we're gonna disagree on this card, I'm sure.
I don't know. I don't know about all that, but I'll say Adam Page. Why not? I think Adam Page deserves a win. I don't think he's gonna win it, but I think he might have. I mean, maybe he does. So I'll go. Well, you know what? I'll pick Adam Page because the way MJF beat up the crap out of Christopher Daniels with the blood and all that stuff. So maybe that takes.
Oh, that was so good, but bad camera cut. Very bad camera cut.
Yeah.
They never get that right. Oh, did you see the story? And I apologize because I know we're 2 matches in on the picks. But
Why did I bring that up?
Did you see the story where they're talking about the Thunder Rosa chair incident?
Mm-hmm.
Where she went in the ring and it was Megan Bain and whatever. Who was it? It was Penelope Ford.
Yes.
And Thunder Rosa came in with the chair and went to she's threw it 3 times and everything was said and it was on Wrestling Observer Radio, I believe it was.
Okay.
They do not do production meetings for AEW. Tony Khan does not believe in them.
Oh, he needs to start building.
And I'm like, that's the instance where, if you're going to do that, run through it real quick just to make sure it. Because again, my thing is, look, I get that Megan Bain they're trying to build her up as, like a Goliath type thing. But then slowly look at Thunder Rosa and leave the ring. Don't just dive out of the ring like you're scared. But walk her down and leave. Penelope Ford is standing in front of Megan Bain, and Thunder Rosa's got a chair. I'm like, swing the damn chair, man. The same thing happened with the Claim, like a year ago. They came into the ring with the chairs, and then they all just stood up and looked at each other. You got a damn chair in your hand. Use it. If they don't move, then they get hit.
They need to run it. They need to pre-run these things. They just can't just wing it
Especially
like that.
Those things, that just looks so bad.
It does look bad.
I was like, how does Thunder Rosa come back from that? Honestly, you look very weak. You're going to throw it, and then your arm breaks. It's like the chair goes. What are you doing? All right, back to our picks. That's it. You're triggering my mind there.
Next matchup.
Cage match: Kyle Fletcher, Will Ospreay.
I like that. I like the steel cage. I like the fact that at least they added a steel cage. It's not like a, all falls count or something like that.
Yeah.
I like Kyle Fletcher, but I just don't see Will Ospreay losing this. I got Will Ospreay.
Yeah, I feel like this is the right. They each got 1 win, and Ospreay gets this and moves on. I feel like Ospreay's got to start getting into the title picture at some point again, man.
He should.
He's been out of the picture forever.
Yeah, this Kyle Fletcher storyline has kind of kept him busy. But remember, he also was in the tournament.
No, it was good. It was good to keep him out of it because it doesn't make sense to throw him in right away. They had 7 people vying for the heavyweight title already. Why throw Will Ospreay in the middle of that? I felt like they wasted Jay White during that. I felt like they wasted Hangman Page during that. I felt like you wasted a lot of guys.
Yeah.
During this whole thing, trying to build up whatever the Death Riders was going to be, but ultimately, again, you build them up for Cope to knock them all out to get a one-on-one match. So I don't know where that's going to head, but we'll see. AEW International Championship, the weirdest way of getting to this match. But it's Takeshita versus Kenny Omega.
No
and I say odd because it was Takeshita had to win his match to get to face Omega to defend his AEW International Championship over Orange Cassidy.
Makes no sense.
Yeah, that was the only thing I got there. And look, man,
AEW vibes,
dude. I feel like Takeshita's on that level now, to where he doesn't lose this. But I don't understand, or how you make Omega lose after everything he's been through either. That's where I have the problem here. in this match. So I'm going to go and I'm going to say, oh man, I hate to say this. Kenny Omega is your new AEW International Champion leaving Revolution.
Um, I,
See, same thing I'm thinking. That's what happened with me. That's exactly what happened with me.
it's just you're right. It shouldn't be technically Takeshita should win this,
Yeah.
but you're right. Kenny Omega's been through all this. Man,
Although you could throw a new Don Callis member in here and cost Omega too, and then you keep that whole thing going there too. So I mean, I don't know, but if it gets a clean victory, I think Omega gets the victory.
yeah. I'm gonna go out on a limb. No, I'm not. I'm gonna go with Kenny Omega. I say Kenny Omega wins this.
All right, this one was thrown together, the number one's contenders match, so they could get back to in the ring together for the AEW World Championship. Ricochet versus Swerve Strickland. In this match, I think it's going to be a great match, which they've had two very physical matches. My problem has always been this, and this, they did that match in Atlanta, and I didn't like the match in Atlanta because if anybody remembers, Ricochet started this whole thing by stabbing Swerve Strickland in the head with scissors.
Yes, sir.
And then you go into a match, and then you have a regular wrestling match. If I got my head covered up by scissors, I'm coming in kicking your ass.
Well, remember, hold on a second. Ricochet got thrown a whole bunch of toilet paper at that.
That was before. That was before, yeah.
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 So there's they've been going at it for a
You
minute.
got toilet paper thrown at you, and then you stab somebody in the head with scissors.
Well, that's why he took it to the next level. He had to stab him with it, and then
Yes,
he had.
then they had a basic wrestling match after that in Atlanta.
But isn't that the one where he took Prince Nana's?
Well, he ended up at the end, he took Nana's robe and left. So I think ultimately, I feel like a swerve's coming, no pun intended. I think Ricochet wins and Prince Nana leaves with Ricochet and the robe.
You know what, man? I told you we weren't going to disagree a lot, man. I like Ricochet on this. I think Ricochet has actually done a really good job, and I like the Ricochet that I even liked that little smirky laugh that he had. Yeah. So I love this Ricochet. I think they compared to what they were using him WWE, I will have to say
Let me
that.
tell you something. The first time he opened his mouth in AEW, I couldn't. It was like chalk, like nails on a chalkboard. But now, like as he's getting it better, it seems like he's got a better tempo. Maybe I'm enjoying the promos he's cutting.
That's a good point, by no doubt. He can't burn Swerve's house.
Oh, you know what'd be good if like they're rebuilding Swerve's house and then Ricochet sets it on fire.
Nah. I think the
No?
burning of the house is already kind of done with.
Not even the. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Nah.
All right.
I do like the fact that Prince Nana turns on Swerve and goes with Ricochet. So I also got
I just feel like the seed was planted last week. We'll see what happens this week. Maybe I watch a show tomorrow and I'm like, damn, dead wrong on that.
and not only that, but that is kind of messed up that you want houses to be burned. That's not cool.
Burning down the house. Hurt Syndicate defending against the Outrunners. Now, as much as I want the Outrunners to win the tag team titles, I don't want them beating the Hurt Syndicate. I feel like right now you've made the Hurt Syndicate look like monsters, man. The way they ran through the guns, the way they won the tag team titles, like, I feel like they should almost pretty much run through the Outrunners. But I know it's pay-per-view, so Outrunners are going to get some things and some close calls probably on Shelton. But ultimately, the muscle Bobby Lashley comes in, and the Hurt Syndicate and MVP leave the AEW World Tag Team Champions.
You know, in my case, I feel that if there's one team that the Hurt Syndicate could lose their titles to, would be to the Outrunners. I think they level up the same. But their tag team run is just so short right now. I just can't see them just going ahead and like dropping those tag team belts so quickly. Even though it is AEW, so AEW likes to do crazy stuff. But I'm with you, man. I think the Hurt Syndicate is gonna win this. I want the Outrunners. I'll be cheering for the Outrunners, but I just don't see the Hurt Syndicate going ahead and just losing those tag team belts so quickly. So I got them.
All right. Now the next match. And again, this one, I've never seen Momo Watanabe except for the highlights. So I'm gonna say Mercedes Moné retains the championship. I don't know anything about Watanabe, so I'm gonna go with what I know, Mercedes Moné.
Well, I saw a little bit of her on Collision, highlights
Yes,
of her and
and
stuff
Billy
like that.
Starks.
Yeah, and that sucks that they have not used Billy Starks. Billy Starks was so good, and they still
Well, they used her on Ring of Honor. They haven't used her on their main.
so disappointing. But look, if Mercedes Moné was able to beat Britt Baker, if Mercedes Moné was able to beat this girl, what's her name? Uh,
Statlander.
Statlander, and then she was able to beat Cameron. I doubt that Momo is gonna beat this girl. So I got Mercedes, bro. I
You
just
remember Momo won the match when she won? She beat Athena, the 4-way at the Forbidden Door or whatever they had. She was the one that won that from the AEW, Ring of Honor, CMLL, and New Japan. The 4 women fought each other. She won that match, which is why she gets the match now against Mercedes. Also, another timeless match. Timeless Tony Storm, Mariah May, AEW Women's World Championship. This will be a Hollywood ending, Tony Storm said. It's a basically no rules in the match. They're just going to tear each other up. I can't go against Tony Storm, man. I can't. I feel like this is the final act of this cinematography that we've been watching for the last year and a half between her and Mariah May. This is it. This is the big ending. This is Timeless Tony Storm walking out, the AEW Women's World Champion. Book it.
I was leaning a lot on Maria May to win this, but then they did put the cover and they said this is the Hollywood ending. So if you are going ahead and selling this fight as the Hollywood ending, it would only make sense that Tony Storm wins. I want Mariah May to win. Be honest with you guys. I want
Why?
Mariah May.
Why?
Because I am not tired of this feud. This is one feud that just can keep going right now. It hasn't burned me out. I haven't gotten burned out of this feud. I actually want them to run it back again even after this. But
You could still win this and continue it.
nah, you can't, man. Because Tony then has 2 wins over 1 from Mariah. I don't think.
Yeah, but depending on how she wins it, if it's some craziness where, I don't know. I mean, again, I don't know how this match is going to roll out, so we'll see.
I'm gonna go. Say, unfortunately, Tony Storm is gonna win this because of the whole fact that it's called the Hollywood ending. So, Tony Storm. Plus, she just got beat down. She was in the hospital bed the other on Collision.
Yeah, she's well rested, got a lot of IV in her. She's very well rested, ready to go.
Top notch. I got her all day. I got Tony.
Timeless.
Timeless Tony. Correct, sir.
Jon Moxley, the champ. And for some reason, he's Adam Copeland for the AEW World Championship.
All right. So, Cope is knocking everybody out. You just mentioned to me that he's going against Wheeler Yuta on Dynamite tomorrow.
Let me make sure that I'm accurate on that.
Okay. And, Cope is the very next best kind of like star that they got. That hasn't won a belt in the where obviously the other stories are going on. Oh, you can't give it to Kenny, you can't give it to Will Ospreay, MJF already won the belt, all that stuff. And noticing this also as well. If you look at, let's say, the heels and the babies that are out there, there's not that many babies out there, right? Or are there? Well, Kenny Omega's a baby, so if he wins, you got Will Ospreay's a baby as well. MJF and Hangman Page are, well, MJF is more of a heel. Ricochet is a heel. Okay, I think I'm thinking too much about this. Best way to look at it is if Cope was able to knock out every single one of John Moxley's people out, and he finishes it off with Yuta, then I think I mean it would only make logical sense for him to beat John Moxley. It's the only way, and then the Outrunners would finally end. I'm gonna go out on the limb. I'm gonna say Cope wins this, man. I think Cope does. He finishes the job. He gets rid of all of them, and then you could always run this back. So I think that's what's gonna happen. Especially if they all, since he knocked all of them all out, and now he gets Moxley, then they could all come back and try to beat him. And you know how Mox is. He likes to get revenge uh all the time. So I'm gonna go and say Cope wins this one.
Damn, man. Prayers up to Cora Jade. Looks like she got hurt at the NXT show tonight.
Oh man, it sucks, man.
Looks like I don't know if it's a neck or a back.
Ooh.
She just, she's taking on Jordan Grace, puts her into the turnbuckles, and then you see her just say, "Oh my God," and then the ref throws up the X. So I don't know what exactly transpired, but that's another one that's been, she deals with injuries a lot, man. Damn it. I feel bad for her. And she was, I think, going to be on the TNA pay-per-view for the title.
I wouldn't be surprised. I know that they were remember they're having the big show on next week's NXT.
Next week, yeah, title versus title. Which I think was way too soon. But hey, whatever it is. Man. Like, I just don't see anybody beating Mox right now. With the way the story is playing out, I don't know that Cope gets the job done. I think Moxley, something happens where more people are there to keep it from Cope. Cope's going to have to figure out another way. And, yeah, I'm going to go with Moxley keeping the title.
Okay. I mean, the only way you could save, obviously, Cope from not winning. The only way you could save Moxley from losing the title is if they probably add more people, right? That's the only way, because he's knocking everybody out.
That or Jay White turns.
That could happen too, but there's no.
Then you got Cope against Jay White for a little while.
That could happen. I mean, I just don't know why he would.
I mean, there's no reason right now for him to do it. I'm just saying, I don't see that you're doing all of it. Like, if Moxley loses the title now, then the Death Riders thing is over.
Not necessarily.
What are you talking? Cope took every one of them out by himself, and then he wins the title?
Yeah, and then they all come back together to seek revenge, all healthy again.
Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know. Cope is their kryptonite. He's a Cope-a-nite.
I don't know.
No doubt ask, is MJF really a heel, though? He does heel stuff, gets heel response, so probably. But deep down, I think everyone loves it. MJF equals secret baby.
Yeah, he reminds me of like the Stone Cold and maybe John Cena, where he could pull it off, where he's actually a heel and a baby at the same time. And
he did pull it off. Look at what he did with the kangaroo kick. I mean, the whole thing with him and
they need to bring that back.
Adam Cole worked so well, man. The opposites attract type thing, like it's just the odd couple, whatever you want to call it. It worked, man, and he was a big reason why it worked, because you got to see a different side of him. He still was just it was so funny because he was still the one kind of conniving, but at the same time he was trying to behave. Like, it was just like inner struggles with himself. It was pretty funny. It was pretty funny to watch it, go. And then they just poo-pooed on it. And I don't know. I just think sometimes they, again, too many eggs in one basket. Adam Cole gets hurt. And then everything went down from there on that angle.
Yeah.
You could have had backup. You could have figured out a plan in case, and instead it just dropped off of the face of AEW. All right, my man Frankie Fresco, let them know where they can get you at.
You guys are more than welcome to look at my follow me on Instagram, on X, on Twitch, under the Fresco Music name. You could see that right there on the bottom of the screen. And then if you don't follow me as Fresco Music, I also do come up as Frankie Fresco on another site. So Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, X, TikTok. You're more than welcome to go ahead and follow me. And also, if you guys are local in South Florida, this Friday there will be a Miami Sharks rugby game. Obviously, your boy will be DJing the game. Game starts at 7 o'clock at night. So if you guys are into rugby and if you guys want to check it out, the games are shown on ESPN Plus. So if you are watching it on ESPN Plus and you hear music in the back, that's me. That's just your boy Frankie Fresco playing music. And or if you guys go there in person, you guys are more than welcome to come to the DJ booth, and be more than happy to introduce myself if I haven't met you before, or say what's up, because I'm there for the pub. I'm there right next to like the fans, so it's not like I'm like in a secret area. You guys are more than welcome to say what's up to me. So yeah, Miami Sharks game this Friday. Check me out if you guys are local. If you want to come to a rugby game, really much fun, and also you get free beer. You get free beer. So if you go to the game, the post game, you get free beer all the time. So shout out to the Sharks and shout out to everybody who attends the game, and then obviously shout out to everybody who's tuned into the show today. Hit that like and hit that subscribe on both of our channels.
So you're saying we need to get you a belt because you're the people's DJ?
I am the people's DJ, at least for now. Hopefully, I hope. I mean,
Do a heel turn on us?
for now, I won't. Right now, I won't. Maybe on you. Eventually, I'll turn on you because if you know what, I'll turn on like people who are insulting the baldness. I'll turn on those guys. You know.
All right, so then that means your buddy's going to get turned on.
Yeah.
All right, you can check me out at Stanley Media _11 on X. I'm at Stanley Media House Network on everything else. And Facebook, make sure you check the page out. Hit the subscribe on the Stanley Media House Network YouTube channel or the Frankie Fresco. Actually, and hit it on both. Twitch, check us out. Every Tuesday, 7 p, we're right here. And then also every Monday, 7 p, Talking Racing Now with my boy Spencer, who you may know as No Doubt. He does the racing show with me.
Nice.
So make sure you check that out. Frankie Fresco, last words.
I know I don't like to get emotional, but I told you guys like it's been rough the last couple of days, and I love my dog, and I will always love him. I'm making a shrine for him. You might call me crazy. You might go ahead and be like, Frankie, you're crazy making a shrine for him, but he's my guy. He's my dog. He will always live, and I dedicate this show to him. So I will always love you, and you will see until we see each other next time, man. Definitely, you'll definitely let me show you guys a picture of him before I let you guys go. This is just me being emotional. So this was Rocco. So yeah, so I dedicate the show to him.
In the words of the great Gordon Solie, so long from the Sunshine State.
Listen up, you bald fraud. Listen up, you bald fraud.